We're rolling.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 93 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. Rolling up on that 100.
I know, yeah.
I still don't know what the hell we're going to do.
Siete más. We got 7 weeks to think about it.
Welcome back, everybody. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business, web design. Oh, look, I'm wearing the shirt today, too. Google Ads, graphic design. We can help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. Request a free online review of your entire presence, your entire online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt training out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera.
Yeah.
What up, Bo?
Michelle.
McQuell. I'm looking
at
McQuell.
Hey, so this is the
my
best.
wife's name.
Let's introduce it.
Bro,
so we got.
They write an article and they jack my name
So
up.
we
It's a beautiful
got
article,
featured in the Sun Sentinel, the community section. Man motivates others with Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast.
He's the man.
So I'm so happy that they did the article. The guy, the author of the article, I won't say his name. He had just been getting off COVID, so I'm going to give him a little break.
And he stares at the sun for
he
an
spelled
hour
his name is McQuell. It's Miguel Lequerica, and it was like
Miguel Lequera.
Yeah, McQuell Lequeria.
Those are my bro. Those are my new pronouns. Okay?
Head rush. So, but it was awesome. It was an honor.
It was a good
featured.
article.
Check it out.
Yep.
We've been posted on online.
It was a good
here
article,
now,
bro.
So yeah, it was just an honor to be mentioned.
Yes. In whatever way they want to mention you, it's great.
So
yeah,
riding shotgun, Miguel
McQuell. To you, sir.
McQuell Lequeria. And today in studio we have William. He said Billy. Will, I'm going with Will Abreu.
Okay,
is that good?
Let's go with that.
What do people call it? What is
Will?
Just Will?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Will. Okay, so good.
I will
so
try to
welcome,
remember
Will. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I'm going to read some shout outs, so hang tight.
Sure.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment, share, click that subscribe button, click the little bell on YouTube to get reminders. We'd really appreciate it. I wanted to mention also, right, we had Kurt Osiander on last week.
Yep.
We put the GoFundMe.
He flicked us off. When we took the picture.
It was an honor to get flicked off at the end of the picture, right?
Yeah.
We put his GoFundMe in the link tree. So if you go to any of our social media, you click on our link tree, it'll open up, and we put his medical recovery fund. It says Kurt Osiander Medical Recovery Fund. We put it right there at the top. Please donate. He just got a hip replacement. He has another hip that has to be replaced. So let's support him.
All his swords stolen.
He got robbed. He got health issues, robbed, liver.
While he was in the hospital, somebody broke into his house and stole, like, not even like money or like stuff that's like
his jiu-jitsu stuff.
Not stuff that's tangible to everybody, just to him, like personal shit.
But
that sucks.
That's an evil human.
That really is.
Evil human being.
We're gonna keep it up there for a while. Let's help him out. It was a great interview. We wanted him to do it for so long. We didn't realize that he was out of commission. I think he was in the hospital, and we were trying to get him on. He wasn't. We're like, he's not answering any messages.
He was in the garage, bro. Like that. That guy wasn't on a vacation.
Check it out. Again, visit us at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram is kind of the most popular platform where people interact with us. Click on the link, and right there at the top, you'll see the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So
go fund that guy.
Okay, a couple of quick shout outs. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business.
What up, Sean?
Right here, you got a little Flow and Roll on.
I do. I love it.
Don't believe us? Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll and check out all their custom designs. They work with academies throughout the country. They have a really cool pre-order program that we always talk about.
Yep.
A few $100s down. You put your gis for your students on his website, and very little outlay for equipment for jiu-jitsu, gis. No gi gear
stuff.
He'll design it, put it on his website.
Patches, 25 gis, 25 patches.
25, 50, 75. He'll match the amount of patches for free. Get them
and sewn on.
Put on for you. Yeah.
Embroidered would be the professional
Real
term.
deal. He's a great guy. He's been with us almost pretty much from the beginning.
And he's cool. He's just a cool
Super
dude.
cool. Yeah. You'll find our podcast tee there on his website as well. So go check them out at flow_n_roll on IG. Visit the website at flowandroll.com. You can also just email him at flowandroll@gmail.com. And you can get 20% off on their website just on the regular, like if you're buying a T-shirt or you're buying a belt and gi, you get 20% off with code JJD. That coupon code does not work if you're ordering, bulk for
and
your,
and
for
if
your
you're
gym.
a kid and your parents don't let you use devices, beg them until they do it.
And you can't buy airplane
or
tickets
just
yet.
buy it
That's a
and just
tactic
let
my kids use.
go into your mom's purse and grab her. I'm just kidding.
No. I'm not advocating for crime. Just, you got to break them. You got to break them.
for crime.
Well, for Sean, yeah. He's a good guy. He deserves it.
Okay.
And Kurt.
And thank you to the
Give 'em
BJJ box for all their support. We should have a new box coming too. We unboxed one a couple of episodes
It was
ago.
good. I've been playing with those balls.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
You got a lot of jokes today with that.
No, I'm
sure.
Yeah, sure.
It's
You
for my
like,
hands.
You like balls in your hands, right?
Yeah.
Is that what? Are you on your knees and you?
Well, what I do is I'll cycle from hard to soft,
Okay.
and then
He
it's
cycles
almost like
the
I'm.
balls.
It's almost like I'm juggling.
I'm
and
sorry,
squeezing.
Tony, that your shout out has gone this far south.
I would
They
say-
are. Let me do this. They are Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box.
Agreed.
It's delivered to your door, filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel. They got equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. They find the best products in the world of Jiu-Jitsu and guarantee that every box will be worth more than the cost.
And throw
right?
some of their stuff in there too.
Yeah, we
like
got
the towels,
our-
legit. The shirt.
We've got
Yeah,
our
our
keychain.
keychains.
It's
Yeah.
going to be in one of the upcoming boxes. He just messaged me that he got our package.
Yeah.
So we should see it. And actually, when we
Nice.
get our own
Yeah.
box, we're going to get a keychain back.
As
right?
long as there's crime, there will always be keys. So you will need a keychain.
Each box
You know?
has typically about 4 to 7 items, usually on the higher end of that, right?
Yeah.
4 to 7 items. We know you're going to love them. Use coupon code JJD10 to get $10 off your first order.
La primera.
More cool stuff coming from them soon. Thank you to the crew over at Neutral Zone.
Hey.
Right? They launched their new Neutral Zone Clean products. Black Belt Digital Marketing helped them launch the website.
This stuff's legit.
NeutralZoneClean.com. Go check it out. And at Neutral Zone Clean on Instagram and on
Smells
Facebook as
good,
well.
too.
It does smell
Well,
good.
I brought an extra bottle today, so you can grab one of these bottles. Take that with you. All right, man. So that's for you.
Gorillas in the mist.
You
You know what I mean?
Now, just for clarification,
out.
because everybody knows that they're also our CBD sponsor. The clean products do not have any CBD in them.
Nada.
All right.
FBI
These are two
agent
completely
approved.
different companies.
Do not smoke.
FBI could use it if they felt like it.
So this is all about being clean on the mats, training in your personal life. If your wife is gardening around the house, cleaning the house, she wants to do a little spray or use the wipes. We've got the refill. They have the big bucket for the gyms, right? You put a little
And
bucket, you just
self-defense.
pull them out on the top. And if they happen to get dry, that's what the refill is for. You can either refill these containers or you can wet the wipes if they get dry. Maybe you go a long time between use.
That rolls off the tongue nice. Wet the
Yeah,
wipes.
Wet the wipes.
All right.
I always say I have a canister. I have the original sample canister in my car. So I'm right down to the last few. I use it when I put gas in my car. If I'm shaking hands, like whenever I get in the car and I know I've shaken hands or I'm like
Something
hands on the
nasty?
shopping cart,
Yeah.
I get in the car. I do
You're
I
like
just wipe
Howie-
down my steering wheel as well.
Like Howie Manziel level of clean.
Oh yeah, I'm not that bad though.
That's good. They love it.
Paranoid. A little paranoid.
And you can get 15% off with code
JJD, man.
JJD.
The OG
Not
promo
JJD
code.
man.
JJD.
JJD.
We don't discriminate.
NeutralZoneClean.com. All right. Now, Neutral Zone CBD, again, two separate, two arms of the same company. No matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, or just your daily grind of life, Neutral Zone has a product for you. Find your Neutral Zone by finding the best products for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle. Check them out at NeutralZoneCBD.com, and you're getting 25% off with code
JJD.
JJD. Same code for most of our
He likes
sponsors.
to test me on the pro. I have the promo codes
He's
memorized.
close to getting it right every time. He's close. Just
All
kidding. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's get into it. Again, well,
Thank you for your service.
thank you for joining us and thank you for your patience, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Can't wait to use this.
So yeah,
It's good.
So let's start off with. I understand you guys wrestled and you
You get-
beat his ass.
I think that's what happened. It's
So
only
you guys-
I only did Greco in the summer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a folk
Yeah,
style
yeah.
wrestler.
So
I'm
what
ready to
had
lock him in.
happened? So what had happened?
I'm used to
No.
takedowns. I like to touch legs.
So anyway, well, we'll start with wrestling. You have a wrestling background, right? You wrestle. How many years did you wrestle?
I started late compared to most.
Yeah.
I started about 15, 16 years old.
And you actually, we were talking before the show.
There's a
And you guys
very,
think you actually
very
were
high percentage.
that you actually wrestled against each
We're
other.
Yeah, no, I
we're the
remember.
same. We're the same age.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
you were up.
How
in
could you forget this face? I mean, look at this.
Well,
No.
it's the ears, probably.
Man, because like the coincidence of the years,
Yeah, yeah.
and then obviously he confirmed he was at the tournament. He was the only dude that big.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and from that school you said, right?
Yeah, from
what
that
school?
school.
What
Yeah,
school?
not
did you?
fat. This is
Killian.
different. Killian, yeah, Manny
Yeah.
Killian, yeah. Go Cougars.
I don't know. Florida.
Green and gold. Hey, what do you say?
Those are shout outs? Is that what they said?
Let's go.
So who won the match?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Duh.
Yeah.
Is he your duh?
But I look good. I look good.
You look good
I
losing?
look good. I was
You look good
intimidating
losing.
until he
Yeah.
touched me. And then he was like, "Oh, this dude doesn't know shit."
So you wrestled from what age? Oh, you said you got started late.
Yeah, I
so what
started
time?
like at 15, 16. Yeah.
Okay.
I was always heavy into fitness. Lifting
Yeah.
weights was just kind of a thing. You know, that's the era of like watching what Pumping Iron just came out or
Yeah.
something. You know,
Yeah,
it was big. You know,
Arnold and Sylvester were
Yeah.
still on the screen.
Yeah, Woolworth was around, so I'd steal the
Who's that?
magazine.
What's that?
Woolworth was
Woolworth.
around.
Oh, the
Yeah.
store?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And I steal the magazines out of there to follow the workout plans.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, shit. Oh.
I used to
How old are you
read.
now?
We got him.
Bay magazine.
Officer, we got him.
How
He's
old
right
are you?
here.
39.
39.
Yeah.
So you're the same age with him?
Yeah, I'm 38, but I'm coming up.
Yeah.
So is that your first? Wrestling officially, if you Google it, falls under martial arts. Is that your first martial art?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. At the time, my mother could never afford
Bro, that's the same reason why I did it.
Taekwondo or anything like that. You
Yeah.
know. And I really got into it because we thought it was like WWF wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I walked,
Another one.
Yeah.
They got another one.
That was NWO. You know. We just
Oh,
coming out of it.
dude.
So-
With the Hulk Hogan with the black beard.
Yeah, and then I walked in and I did well with people having doubted me. Like I walked in, the coach is like, "Who the hell is this scrawny little kid?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong." And then
Yeah.
that's it. Like it just kind of happened.
I wrestled in junior high. This is how unmotivated I was. I loved wrestling actually. I started in 7th grade, wrestled in 8th. I wanted to be cool and play football, and it kind of overlapped.
Yes.
Yes.
So
very much so. Relax.
So I played football. I was scrawny. I sucked. I should have stayed with wrestling. Soccer and wrestling were my sports, but I wrestled for a couple of years, and I still say, even though I sucked, I was bad. I use a lot of those. I remember stuff that I used then. Like I love doing cradles. Like there aren't a lot of people that do cradles. You're not taught cradles
all
in
of them
jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
Like I love cradles. I can
They're all
cradle
the
somebody,
same,
roll
though.
over, and people are like, where am I going? You know.
I think differently.
I just
you're an asshole.
I use a lot of that wrestling still, so it comes in incredibly handy still. But I mean, how many years did you wrestle?
I wrestled all 4 years of high school, which is kind of weird though. I mean, I try to make it brief for you. Me and the coach never got along. He never wrestled a day in his life.
What?
And yeah, it was weird. And
They
but
pay extra teacher volunteer. Anybody want to volunteer to
practically,
yeah.
you know, and he did it for 25 years though. He was one of
shit.
the oldest coaches around. So it's not like he never built champions. He
Okay,
did, but he was
okay.
real. He was just we bumped heads all the time. And but so
Turn right.
Okay.
Turn right. You got to turn right.
He's coming
Is
for
that
you.
me?
I
Yeah.
think so. Is it you?
My phone doesn't do that. Are you
Yeah,
here?
Yeah, you're not here. Wait, Will's not here yet.
sorry.
This is a hologram. Thanks for liking and
that is me.
subscribing.
I'm
'cause
sorry.
our
He's here on
numbers are
Zoom.
up.
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then I did mostly freestyle and Greco because I
Okay.
didn't have to be on a high school team to do so.
Yeah, you're
So-
right. That's summer league stuff.
Yeah, me and him just didn't get along. So I spent my years skipping school around 1 o'clock
Yeah.
to catch bus to other schools to wrestle, practice, and then that's it. Like
Skip school to go wrestle.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I knew my grades weren't great, so I was like, I got to bump up my skills and try to get out of here somehow.
My mom used school as daycare growing up.
Yeah, same.
So my mom made me go to summer school every summer too, because that's extra time that I'm
That
being
would've
watched.
killed me.
Yes.
And so like the wrestling was like perfect because it was even longer. So my mom like loved it, you know, and
Yeah.
she didn't have to do anything.
I think my parents definitely loved that after school. Like we were,
Yeah.
I shouldn't, I don't want to say required. We were probably required. We had to do a sport.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's
we were
PE,
doing a
bro.
sport for
Whatever.
every season.
Like, you guys coach or anything?
No.
No.
Like, it's crazy. Like as a coach, like that's the main complaint I get from parents. Is like they do too much and need the rest, and like they want them to only do like 2 days a week of like extra activity. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're kids. They got energy.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah. For me, it's like a driving.
No,
thing.
man. I grew up in the time where it was like, get out of the house, go outside and go play, find something to do. I don't care what you do, go find something to do. Now it's like, stay in the house. You don't want to get kidnapped. Where are you? Go watch TV. Right? I mean, isn't that for real? Like, it's more like stay close to the house. Me, it was just like, listen, when the lights come on, when the street lights came on, it was like, be home.
Yes.
And then my dad had that like on the weekends when he had that whistle.
Well, I think a
He
lot
could
of
do
people
that,
are like
that
that.
loud fucking
Yeah,
whistle,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's my dad. I gotta go home.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah, my
knew.
dad did the same thing with the loud whistle.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to
That's
have
an
a
old
dad
school
growing
dad.
We
up.
look alike a little bit.
Yeah, I was a single mom. That's how we started with this.
What's that?
That's why school was watching me because I didn't have the dad to do the, It just,
still can't do it.
I just heard like a belt doing this, and then that was the sound.
Yeah. Is that my dad? Is that my dad?
No, that's definitely hide and seek champ, 1984.
So how useful, right? I mean, obviously, this is it's an obvious question, but it leads us into the conversation of how important is wrestling in your jiu-jitsu now? How important, not just your jiu-jitsu, but in jiu-jitsu period?
Listen, so okay, my bad. So if I lose anybody, please let me know. There is the technical aspect and there's the tactical aspect.
Okay.
Technically, jiu-jitsu's coming on par on getting the techniques done. But the tactical approach is like so off the wind, so like out the door. Like it's
Do you mean like how people are learning it, or
just
how,
like that? So in the eyes of a lot of jiu-jitsu, majority they look at wrestling as being like not having as many moves, not being as tactical. But that's not the thing. We bundle up our moves into categories. So a double leg is going to be anything where we're grabbing both legs. Where in jiu-jitsu, the aspect is like how many different arm bars are there. You know, so we learn the mechanics to the point where like now it kind of minimizes the names, so it doesn't seem like it's as much. So, due to that, like
There's so many arm bars.
the tactical part about it is much bigger in wrestling, and that's just an aspect that's not carried over into the technique you're learning in jiu-jitsu.
I got you. Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I do get
there are
that,
moves that you'll do towards the out of bounds line. There are moves that you'll do on the last minute. There are moves that you do in the beginning, and
then also opponent like structure.
Yes.
Like if you're like because you could get a 170 pounder that's 6'3" and a string beam.
yes.
And you don't really.
My coach would yell, shoot on those legs, Mill.
Yeah.
but
Look at those legs.
those
Look
big
at
legs,
all
those bigs, if they sprawl on you,
Yeah.
you're getting pancaked
we do.
just because of leverage.
Yeah, exactly. So you do a lot of studying in that, and so you'll watch a gentleman, right? I'll look at him and I'll be like, all right, he's long and he's lanky, but then like you start watching his stance prior, like if you're not going with him now, you watch prior. So you're watching all these details, and
Across the locker room, yeah.
at some point there's like a little part in practice that you may have covered that, or the coach is going to tell you, because coaching is very important. Like in wrestling, it's adamant that you have a coach in a corner. In jiu-jitsu, they're like behind the rails at most of the time.
Yeah.
So like they don't understand that aspect, and that same coaching you're getting in a match, you're getting it in practice. So you learn how to literally listen to your specific coach in a crowd of like 1,000.
Oh yeah.
So that plays a big factor, which is what we're going over in my school, where I'm like, if I have you as a partner and I drill a technique, if it doesn't feel right, I need to analyze, is it not going right because I'm doing it incorrectly, or it's not going right because his physical attributes don't fit the technique I'm doing? Find another part.
That's high level jiu-jitsu knowledge right there.
And that's the part that jiu-jitsu doesn't grasp yet.
The partner feedback loop is extremely important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely important. I tell them, talk to them. I tell them, talk to your partner. Tell them you're not moving correctly for me. Stand right here, move like this. And it takes a while because, they're kind of nervous to talk to each other. Like, because to them, they're like, how can I tell you what to do?
In wrestling with your friend, though, it's like talking shit.
Always.
Because like, but you tell them, you're giving them the feedback, but you know each other so well because you like the guy in your weight class that you guys are always going for JV or varsity every single week. Like that wasn't shit. That means like you did it wrong.
Yes.
He's like, that ain't gonna work on me, man.
Yeah.
That means that this body type, that ain't gonna work.
Yes.
But it's like it's very detailed.
I have a good question. I'm a brown belt.
Sure.
And I talk about this. I talk about these things all the time. So I kind of know the answer. I want to get your answer. So the other day, right, we got a lot of big boys at my gym, his old gym, my gym. We got a lot of big boys, white belts, and like tall dudes, big dudes. There's one guy that I rolled with the other day. He swears that he's like 225. He's my height. He's like twice as big as me, and he's trying to tell me he's 225. Delusional? I know he's not. I feel bad, but he was he was over 300 pounds. He lost a lot of weight, but he's definitely lying about his weight. I mean, he's my height and wider. So we drill. He's sloppy. He's sloppy. He's still like real big in the middle, sloppy. It just he doesn't have his bearings really, really good now, but I believe that he wrestled. We do our training. He's like out of breath. I like had to teach him like how to bring his breath down because he was just in the drilling. And I'm like, dude, my coach had taught me some like Lamaze breathing, like just breathe like that.
I haven't heard that term.
It's slow. It helps me. I had a heart attack too, so I absolutely use it to bring my my breathing and my heart rate down really quick. And it's something that my coach told me before I had the heart attack. It's something that he did. He was a big guy. He was like 265. But anyway, so my question really is, then we start rolling, and this guy that was fucking dead tired attacks me like he's, like
bat out of hell.
Yeah, like it's ADCC finals, and he's like somebody's got a gun to his kid's head if he doesn't beat me. And I'm like kind of walked him through the drills, I'm teaching him about breathing. And I don't know him well enough yet. I don't roll with him enough to be like, to have that conversation. Hey, dude, look, you really got to slow it down. I'm not his coach. How do you talk to your students about something like that? Like, because I'm big, look,
I didn't know where that was
you're
going.
You're going to hurt me. I'm going to hurt you. I'm probably just going to submit you if you're going to do that, which I did.
Yeah.
But he went crazy, and then it's like trying to get this guy on his back was just like, he's just like all over the place. Trying to tell him, like, if you bring down your level, I'm going to bring down my level. I'm going to let you work. But again, I don't know him enough. What's your advice to somebody like me in that situation? How do I get my spazzy, very large white belt rolling partner to calm down without him feeling like, oh, what? Because I'm going to kick your ass. Like, he doesn't have that whole humility yet.
So this is the problem. You because of that, you can actually be causing more danger than good by not saying something.
Yeah.
Because if he knows nothing now, he can pick up something tomorrow. We're not talking about years from now. He can do something very like ego boosting tomorrow, and
hurt somebody.
Now you're screwed next time you guys are roll. There shouldn't be. I think to me, partners should have no issue with like, yo, my dude, like, you need to stop that stupid shit. Go on my but this comes from the coach's standpoint of kind of introducing that world. So what I do, hey, calm down, relax. And if I see it's an issue, he doesn't go with that. He doesn't go with the person no more. I'll literally put him with now a higher belt, or I put him in a 3-person group, and then I give him a handicap. Like, we're not working this move. Like, I'll give you an example.
I like that.
I have one gentleman that enjoys leg locks, and every time he gets tired, he doesn't follow the rules that I gave him.
Yeah,
because that's a panic. That lets me know.
He's defaulting to the leg lock
because
it's
that's his
easy
panic
out.
zone. He's tired. He's panicked. He's a big dude, And I get on him and I let him know, hey, what the F are you doing? Like, stop panicking, start relaxing. But it gives me more work to do. But that's my job as a coach.
Yeah.
I'm when I know he's rolling, my eyes on him.
Yeah,
and I'm making sure
you'll develop a good habit.
I'm usually not shy about telling some, but I have to know them a little bit. Like, I don't know. So he goes crazy. I submit him the first time. Little north-south choke, one of my favorites. Figure he'll calm down. He gets angry.
Yeah.
And he went harder the second part of the 6-minute round. He went harder.
I know how that goes.
And I'm like, all right, that didn't work. So, I mean, he's going hard. Like, I'm getting hit. Like, coach isn't saying anything. I got it under control. I know when I'm in the danger zone. And then I just got him in like a real aggressive knee on belly, that like knee on sternum. I just started going up to like his neck, and then the belt.
Him?
Actually, the guy's name was actually Ouch. Was it Ouch?
Ouch.
That guy, remember that? He used to do like knee on sternum on everybody,
like pull up on the lapels,
gee hard, like dancing. His name,
I think it's Ouch.
He was Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
He was some Brazilian name.
Ouch. Actually, the black belt that trains at your gym that sometimes he lives out. You know what I'm talking about? The guy who does the marble. His name is Uch. Like, that's his last name.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you something T. It ends in a T. That's why you pronounce it.
Oh,
Uch.
you're talking about Demetrius.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. No, that's not that. That's not who I'm talking about.
I know that's not who you're talking about, but it's the same last name. It's a Brazilian.
So anyway, so I did do like, then but then, now I've got a little, and I'm giving him a heavy knee on belly. But he got so angry. If a couple more rolls or a couple more times, I would be telling him like, hey, I'm not shy to tell somebody I'm a high enough belt there that I could say, hey, listen, you got to calm down because one of us is going to get hurt.
Well, it's up to any person, I think.
But
I don't think your belt should matter.
Yeah, but I mean, Felipe notices. The coach does see it, but in that instance, he was going. So I'm like, how did this guy that was just breathe? I had to teach him how to breathe to get it under his breathing under control. He just went freaking crazy.
You don't understand, bro. I just see red.
Yeah.
You so back to kind of using wrestling as like the pivot point, right? We got captains. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the coach. Like, there'd be a coach, a head coach, an assistant coach, whatever. Captains. Like, and so in jiu-jitsu, that's not really picked on. Like, you don't say, yo, my captain.
The mat enforcer.
Yeah, but not even that. Like, because we have those in wrestling. Just like a person, you're within your right to say something. Like, you're doing your best pleasure. Like, When I see blue belts trying to say something, I'm like, no, just bring it to my attention. Or stop doing what you're doing and then call them to me. But the brown belts, I'm like, go ahead, man, because he may be looking at you as being you're the asshole.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
the way I mean? The way that I submitted him.
Yeah, you know, but he doesn't see it. Like, so to him, he's like, I'm in survival mode. Like, and he doesn't know he's doing something wrong. He thinks that I'm just fighting.
Yeah.
You understand? And
this is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and then and then you're crunching him, and he's like, "Fuck, man, this guy's always a piece of shit." Like,
He might be looking at me like I'm the dick, but I'm actually, I really am. Like, I'm totally of the mindset now. As long as I've been training, I'm at the mindset of kind of like what George Piro said. I'm going to fight just a little bit above what you're giving me. I'm going to fight you just a little bit above the level. I mean, that's how he was giving me so much that I had to like elevate. It was like a street fight.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a white belt. I know, again, if I rolled with him again next time, then I'd be like, hey, bro, let's take it a little easy. Last time, you're trying to take my head off. You're right, though. I kind of don't always look at it from the other side. He may be looking at me going, I got to go hard because this guy's fucking being an asshole.
Jamming me up.
He's going to give me that knee on belly if I don't get on top.
That's the false sense jiu-jitsu gives you. You know, like everybody loves it. Like, I can be in a room with a legend and just be a regular white belt. But then it's kind of, you run that risk where like, then when they look at it, like you're a brown belt, you're a tough guy. He's like, he wants to give you a fight.
Yeah.
Like,
see, like, you know,
you're a hurdle.
When I roll, especially when I roll with something like, I try to keep back. I remember I rolled with Jim Ehlers, right? You know him from down here.
I've done that. That's a mistake.
You know, UFC vet. And
I've done it.
Bare knuckle fighter, right? So he's in the gym. His wife came to train with the girls. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go with you, honey. He didn't know that all of a sudden he knew everybody. Like he knew Felipe. He's like, oh, I didn't know this. That's what this gym, you know, the who ran this gym. Yeah. And so he was like, we did some warm ups. He was my first roll and I'm larger than him. And he's expecting me to like blast double. And I just pull guard. And at the end of the roll, he's like, I did not expect you to pull guard. And I'm like, wait, I don't know you. I go, you got black. He had black eyes from his last bare knuckle fight. I'm like, I know who you are. I wasn't about to start getting into a takedown battle with you. Let's just get this to the ground. And I probably rolled a lot lighter than he expected. Again, people see my size and then they think, no, I really do. I'm there to learn, but I'm there to help. You know, so many lower belts.
He's also nice too.
I'm there to like help the guys that I'm rolling with a little bit. I don't coach them through the roll, but I'll tell them at the end, hey, you know that move I got you, and like this is what you do to get out of it. Like I don't want to get that same move on them all the time. I want to tell them, right? So I'm usually good at that. But in this one instance the other day, I don't really know him that well, and he was just like, you could see that he was angry, and I was like, probably not the right time for me to now start coaching him and tell him, hey, you got to bring it down a level, and then it gets into like, well, get that fucking knee off my belly, you know, like you're trying to kill me. I don't know if he might have given me that energy back. It felt like I was going to get that back, so I was like, let me not say anything.
No, you did the right thing. Yeah. A lot of the times, just like we said, technique is dependent on the physical. Like you can usually kind of guess people's attitude or approach.
Yeah.
Not saying not everybody you can judge a book by its cover, but it's pretty spot on. So if you see a bigger dude, you know, and you can kind of look at him through the warm up and see, man, he's moving kind of funny and weird. What I do is like if he's new, I'll make sure he goes through all the practice. So when he gets to the end of the practice, he's so worn and tired that, like, you know, then I can like, then I'll be like, yo, you're real tired. You know, let's just do these drills, right? Like, and then I'll just put him through drills, and then I kind of like work him in like that, because like a small guy is easy, but like when you get big guys, it's concerning because it can
they
turn
fall
into
the wrong way, and it's like you know, a finger, an arm, an ankle, and it's like nothing, and nobody. He might not really mean anything.
I honestly
he may not be like trying to harm me, but you can.
Yeah, I'm 3 years in, right? And I think October will be 3 years. And I feel like now I'm at a point where you could give me a heavy guy that doesn't know anything, like a white belt, 3rd day, 4th day. And if he goes ham like that, I feel like now at this stage of my jiu-jitsu, I could handle somebody like that.
Yeah.
But I've had it where it's,
but you know who's it really dangerous for is, man, like I'm a big believer in like size does matter.
It does. Size does matter.
It's
well, when the thing is, when
guys.
when you have the same knowledge, of course, size and strength matter, right? These I used to get annoyed when people like they would tell me, "Don't use your strength, don't use your weight." I'm like, but those are my attributes. That's what helps me. For that guy that's maybe a little bit higher than me, that's what's going to even us out. You know. So, but go ahead.
Yes, correct. And but with the small guys who tell themselves, you know, like you know, they believe like size doesn't matter, which. Like you said, there's degrees of this.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then like I watch out and I'm like, yo, no, you're not rolling with that guy.
Yeah,
And they're
for
like,
sure.
no, man, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're not rolling with that guy, man.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
I credit my coach Felipe for he actually is really good at that.
Of course, you see how
And-
little his wife
and
is. He always
coaches-
have to
coaches.
watch over her.
Yeah,
I've known her for
but
years.
now-
So.
yeah, the girls, Felipe. So I know like the girls, like now the girls train in like another room. Like the facility is big enough. They're on like another side of the wall most of the time. They were training for Worlds. They did train with us because then he wanted to like help coach.
Congratulations
And, like,
to all the ladies that
yeah,
medaled.
we won
Did a
some
great job.
golds. We got a couple of
Congratulations,
golds, right?
Sophia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sophia included. That's
yeah,
right.
that's right. Congrats. Yes.
So
What, like
so we
8
were
times
together, but
straight?
like the girls are like let me say something. She's creating some serious
Yeah.
girls, man. They're these girls are, and even a girl that recently left the gym.
Yeah,
She get a gold or she got a silver. Bobby, she got a silver.
But she
with
rolls
another
at
one.
Legacy. Yeah, that's one of the gyms
But I
that
mean,
we
she
do up in
just,
Mad
but she was under that Sophia's tutelage, and she has not done so well
it was
in
very recent.
events before, and then she got a silver in
know.
Worlds.
Yep.
So yeah, we got a real strong girls. It's funny.
World's Masters. I believe.
Sometimes, some days, especially when they put us together, like some days most days there's more girls than guys that train the adults jiu-jitsu class at 7:30.
I have
we're at that point.
She earned it, man. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I knew them. Check this out. I knew them since I used to go to Regal Cinema when I was younger, before jiu-jitsu, and Felipe and her would be set up a booth there they were, I think, working in South Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, and like they would run it. Like, man, they've ran through the mill.
You mean for his jiu-jitsu studio
No,
or,
I don't remember
or
if
something
it was
else?
jiu-jitsu. It was something else. No.
I think
they were like coaches, and like they were just like
Oh.
setting up booths, and I just remember
To get students, you're saying, like to recruit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like so, like they've been around. Like, you don't understand. They put in work. I don't care what anybody say.
They were
You gotta
probably
respect
cops.
the.
They were probably cops while they were doing that because I know they were doing it at the same time. They were both police officers and then like she would work detention at night, like at the prison at night.
That's correct.
And then like literally sleep like 2 seconds.
I didn't realize that. I know I've heard you say that one time before, but I never really talked about it. I didn't know she was on the job as well.
Yeah,
I know he was. I knew he was correctional officer, right? And then, but I didn't know that she was.
I don't know. That's like what's the saying when
with her gun dragging on the floor?
BS, bro.
Sparks.
Bro, she's
so freaking tiny. She's like 4. Well, she's got to be like 4.
She was training down here. She was training down here in Miami with nothing but savages. This was like before there was girls. Like she was
That's
getting
what I'm
like
saying. Philippe drilled that eye of watching over her because she was the only woman, right?
Yeah.
Her and Hillary Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, like Hillary really wants to come down the most, but she's a big girl, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so, you know, like that's how Philippe trained his eye, like having, like, you know, he had to look at her because he, like, it was like somebody's going to roll on her, fall on her.
So, number one, he does a great job with going through, and I see, like, I know better now too. I don't even have to wait for them to do it. Like, I asked that guy to come roll. Mm-hmm. I asked that guy to come drill actually at the beginning of the class because I'm usually one of the bigger guys. I'm a higher belt. I think I'm a little bit intimidating because we have mostly white belts right now. Yeah. At least on the days that I go, it's not every day.
Felipe is doing good.
And I say, I'll be like big boys. Like I make sure that especially when I see one of the big boys go it, like they grab another like little white belt, and they're a big white belt. Yes. I'm like, and I called him over, so I chose to roll with him. He's the biggest guy. I'm probably the second biggest guy compared to him, and then we rolled. But Felipe, if he would have been like, hey.
No, he does the same thing.
He'll switch it up. No. And he does what with his son and Sophia. It's like Sophia rolls with her son a lot because now they're like he's a little bit bigger than bigger than her, but weight wise, it's like a good match for her. And she's been rolling with him. For so long.
Did you know he never used to shake nobody's hands except black belts?
Who, Felipe?
No, little son.
Oh, really? Oh, probably because
that's hilarious,
bro. You don't understand. I remember like meeting this little thing, and he was little butterball, man. Walk around, you try to shake his hand, walk right past you.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck you doing? Like, I only shake black belt hands.
Oh, shit.
You get smacked in the face.
Yeah. He doesn't remember, but yeah.
He's turning into a killer too, man. Kai's there.
Turning into? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what? There. You know, I don't think I've ever rolled with him. It was always too big.
I have, and he's put it on me even when he was some Skittles flavor belt.
Yeah.
He has his dad. He has his dad's body for sure.
He got his dad's body, and he's got his mom's moves.
Yeah.
Like Felipe's got his dad's stuff.
I would say his transitions are already
his barambolos and like going in like Felipe doesn't really teach. We don't do a lot of inverted stuff with Felipe.
But he's training at Deerfield.
But
he's training in Miami.
He has lower back, I think.
He got his lower back issues.
His neck.
Well, I think both. It's both.
Okay.
So he doesn't teach a lot, and he actually is like. He even tells guys like, watch the inversions. You're going to be like me. You know, you're going to have back issues. So just be careful. Yeah. But he gets it. He does get it from Sophia. But she's amazing. I mean, and you know, we talk a lot about, and it's kind of a little bit of a side note from the subject, but we talk a lot about like working out with jiu-jitsu. We'll get your take on this. Those girls are killers because she started a program, an exercise program. Those girls on most nights,
they're in the gym 2 hours a day.
They do an hour of like I don't want to call it
training. It's like HIIT,
like a high intensity workout. Yeah, it's like a HIIT workout
training.
And then they put on their gis and they train, and that's why they came home with so many
athletes, bro,
with so many gold medals. Because yes, they're athletes. Well, and even to her credit, I got to be honest. I'm a guy. These most of them are moms. You know, you see them, you can see the change in their bodies. All of a sudden, these moms who were just 30, 40 something, moms.
They're fit, bro.
Kids in the class from like little to in their teens, they would just sit there and watch the class, and they slowly recruited them. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm telling you, man, that's all Philippe right there. That dude's a mastermind, bro.
Those women
mastermind, bro.
Talk about the fitness. You could, it's an intimate sport. I see them in their spats. I see them in the no-gi. You see them, and they got into such great shape, and they still do it. And then they went into competition training. We did our Sunday classes became 2 hours, so they would do fitness first, an hour of fitness. We do an hour of drilling, and then they did an hour of competition training. And I was going to the 2 hours. Yeah. But the fitness, they've only done the fitness for girls. Felipe doesn't do it for the guys. But my point is, we've talked a lot about like weightlifting and training outside of jiu-jitsu. Like some coaches are just like, just jiu-jitsu. You just need jiu-jitsu. You want to get good at jiu-jitsu? Do more jiu-jitsu. where she was like the fitness and the jiu-jitsu. I believe
Not
like,
only that,
I weight train because I believe they go
she
together.
does the diet plan.
She did
and the diet plan.
She did everything. Listen, I've known her long enough and trained with her long enough. She did everything that she could because she, like, to her, from what I understand, right, to her is like, how can I neglect anything if I'm not the greatest?
Yeah.
Like you can't. Like
you can't be the greatest without doing all those things.
She's got that Michael Jordan
if I'm not where I'm at, how can I say what I need to do? Like I need to do everything. And like she would drive down. Like this is crazy. They would drive down. Felipe and her would drive down and do strength and conditioning with me inside my gym when I used to live in downtown. And that's a hell of a drive to just lift when there's gyms everywhere, you know? And it became a little cumbersome, and I think she twisted her knee. But like they ran with it, like the little bit, like the 3 or 4 sessions we did, and I thought, Felipe must have cracked open a book. This dude, anything. Like I've never not known him, like grasp onto something like a crackhead on rods, man. Like really, like
white on a paper plate.
like went to man, maybe I can do a better gym. Went all the way to Abu Dhabi with the family. Did all of the training over there. Like, God, didn't work. Then came back. Whatever he learned there, he brought it back this way. Well, how do you
after losing his house in a fire?
Yeah,
he went through all the ups and downs. Had a gym, lost it, left
baby.
House on fire. Dog died. Literally, dog died. House fire. Like I think dog died. Then there was a house fire. Then he went to Abu Dhabi, came back. But like I'm a big. I believe if you're a good person, even though those bad things happen, when you sit back now and look back at it, all of those bad things that happened made him who he is now and made him respect the sport more.
But both of them
be more grateful for and run a better gym because he went through all that adversity. We have probably, I can't say it as a fact, but I do say it. We have probably one of the largest kids programs. Sure. It's for jiu-jitsu specifically, and probably for martial arts. We have one of the largest kids programs in the entire area in North Broward.
Probably per capita, but you're not beating Gracie Baja.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, they have a small location. They couldn't possibly fit the amount of kids that they have.
School?
For one school.
No, for his school.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm saying per capita for sure, but Gracie Baja is a franchise.
The average gym has like one storefront, right? Like when you open the door in one storefront, you can probably maybe 20 feet across, right?
Yeah.
We have it's
3 stores. It's 3 stores.
This with the both sides, it's almost 4. Right, there are 4 doors. There's one at the end with the little cafe. There's one in the middle. There's one at the end, and that's 4 storefronts. That's how big the gym is. It's when I put pictures online of training, and people are like, "That's your gym." Like I put out a picture one time. He had gotten a popcorn machine. He has the projector in the ceiling. He has a big screen on the wall, and I put that picture out, and I'm like, I bet your gym doesn't have a popcorn machine. Yeah. And people were like, "That's your gym. That's your gym."
And the coffee machine for you to go. You know what it is? They made sure. So I run my gym, just me. Like I mean, I got staff and stuff, but I don't have family in it. You know what I mean? If you think about it, most gyms have a wife or whatever, so and so. And even at that, they don't do what Felipe's family does, where like the life that they want at home, they made sure that it's at the gym. Like she loves to train and lift weights. We're having a way. Like they when people say I live at the gym, it's no, like
they live at the
like he markets it the way he wants to market. He has the coffee machine that he wants.
He's got his massage chair.
There's a massage chair. There are bleachers. There are seating is like bleacher style. How long are those bleachers? Like 40 feet?
Yeah.
Like there's like 80 feet because there's 2 sets of like 80 feet of bleachers.
Yes.
Couches.
Yes, he used the facility to socially engineer the environment for his son. Like he made sure that his son had a spot there to do after school with his friends and hang out and play games.
He does homeschooling, so that
and they redid it.
Talk about a family business. It's a family business.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been there. I've been to 2 gyms I've trained at 2 gyms my entire life. My first gym was 2 years. He closed. It's a small gym. He was trying to get off the ground. He was in law enforcement. It was a second job. It was hard. And I think without a strong kids program, I think it's hard for a gym. You can make it, but it's a struggle. Mm-hmm. But he had, Felipe put I've had conversations with him where he said, the kids program is where my focus is. But look what happened. You focus on the kids program. The parents are sitting there. Almost all the parents, except for people that don't have kids of that age, all of the parents that train have a kid in the class. Like so,
a lot,
80%. 8 out of 10 parents that train have a kid in the class.
80 families, bro.
Yeah, you're talking about families that do jiu-jitsu. One of my favorite days is, and again, they went into competition training.
I remember the bill too.
Our competition training, our competition training on the weekend, they really called it. It was family day. It was family training because the kids, they cut off the mat, cut off a little part, put some cones. The kids train on that side, and their parents are over here on that side, and it's most of the parents.
Yeah.
And he realized you get the kid. I'm in marketing, so I kind of like even recommend this to other companies to say, you put out a bullying ad, you target the mom on Facebook. She brings the kid in. She's got to be there or pick him up, or the mom and dad, they sit and watch. A lot of parents sit and watch. Then, hey, why don't you come and do a class? Then you get the parents, and then you get both. A lot of like full family, husband, wife, 2 kids. And that's how they did it. And we've got probably one of, just because, I mean, the size of it, if you see it, like they couldn't possibly fit the amount of kids that he has in his kids program into those small one storefront places. He's got one of the biggest kids program, and it's amazing. And those kids, they're like carbon copies of Felipe.
Yeah.
He
is pumping out a machine.
Yes.
Well, it's like
I watched their new breed. Like that. I watched the new breed footage, and it was all pull guard, arm bar.
Yeah.
Pull guard, arm bar. Pull guard, arm bar. Every kid.
Ray's kid.
Every kid.
Holy
Rocco.
smokes,
Yeah. Every kid was the same thing, and they come home with these.
I don't want to say his kid's name, but whatever.
And these kids, but I think, I do think going back to the fitness part, I mean, the kids is one thing. It's a little bit different for kids, but for the adults, I absolutely believe you can win a new breed and just do jiu-jitsu.
But here's the difference,
cannot go to an IBJJF and win if you're not supplementing with cardio, weight training, high intensity stuff. I believe. I think
you mean train like an athlete?
Yeah, you have to train like an athlete to do an IBJJF.
That's the big difference. The parents that are going there, i.e., when I used to go there, I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah.
You're gonna make a lifelong jiu-jitsu practitioner out of me. He could potentially create an athlete that generates revenue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It brings a bigger gym, an affiliate gym.
Yeah.
Gives a life to that kid in a sport that's coming up, and you could actually make decent money if you're good enough. And the marketing is already there. Everything's already there.
Yeah.
There's a big difference with how he treats the kids versus how he treats the adults. You're doing some old man jiu-jitsu shit. He's building the next Marcelo Garcia. The next Leandro Lowe.
I think there's a knowledge that, hey, at 30, 40, 50, you know that you're a hobbyist.
Yeah.
There's like, the George Piros. George doesn't train with us, but like a guy like George Piro who's retiring from a job.
He's technically a professional. He gets paid.
Now he's a professional. He's getting sponsors, and he's out there.
If you get paid to do anything, you're a professional.
Felipe's probably not putting out guys the hobbyists that we train with aren't going to be those guys. Aren't going to be somebody's going to be like, I retired, time to start competing. Right? Like that doesn't happen.
You treat your students differently based on like their needs,
competition, and the kid
all day, every day,
all day. Your kids program, adults program.
Yeah. With the kids, considering like I'm in an area where no one has ever walked in through my door knowing what jiu-jitsu was. Like none of the kids, none of my parents. I have 100 kids, right? And none of the parents none of the parents just knew about it. So
they just look up martial arts.
Yeah, the introduction that
it's like, do you do karate? Yes. Come on in.
Yeah.
Bring him in. Yes.
Look, that's why we made a Miami martial arts. Like why? Like I'm not like, I don't need it to say Abreu jiu-jitsu. I don't need it to say like this and that.
It's actually smarter to not say jiu-jitsu still, even though it's popular, because he would know. I remember I talked to Felipe, and we were talking about I was going to be helping him with some marketing. He was like, if somebody calls and says, do you do karate? The answer is yes. Because they don't know what they're asking for. They don't know that, okay, this is ground karate, this is the ground stuff.
Mexican ground karate.
Yeah. So, but go ahead.
So I do treat them different. So because of those kids, my whole thing is get them introduced to this is not dangerous as you think. Like this is all fun. Let's have some fun. And I pair them up with my more advanced kids. So I'll do a 3-man group, and I'll be like, yo, you guys watch him.
But little brown belts.
Yeah, he's only going to be doing drill, and he's going to do that. Now, when it comes to my adults, I got to kind of handle it with gloves a little, because they're the ones who then get into that concerning mode, and they start trying to fight harder, or they get real stiff and tense, and then you just see an injury coming, and like a little kid,
they cry.
They look like they always hurt. Yeah. But an adult, like it can become a different ordeal, and I don't want to scare nobody off like that. Yeah. So I do approach it a lot different from my workers to my competitors, to the point where like I to kind of take that itch from my competitors, I've put in an advanced day that's only my competitors.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't call it a pro training. Like, I'll give a green light to some white belts that may seem like they want to compete or whatnot, but it's like to kind of just take that itch from my guys, because, you know, at some point I can't keep holding them down, you know?
There's gamers. There's people who want a game, you know?
I never thought I would say it. Like, the competition on that Sunday competition class was my favorite day, because I was hurt. So I was only training like maybe I had a groin injury. I had 1, maybe 2 days a week and taking it really light. And when I got better, I hit that. I got late. I went there one day late to the Sunday class. It normally starts at 10. Yeah. I got there. I'm like, what time did you guys start today? They're like 9. It's 9 o'clock competition training. All right. Next week I was there. And I can't believe I say this now. I love the drilling. Yes, I like to roll. Obviously, that's like my favorite part. But the drilling, an hour of drilling, that's how I started jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So when I went to Felipe's in the beginning, the classes during the week, it's 1 hour. So it's like 10-minute warm-up, half hour drilling, and then the last few minutes is rolling. Yeah. I came from a 1 hour of drilling. It was basically, we called it basics and advanced every day. But everybody came for the 2-hour class. But so every once in a while, somebody's like, just got off of work, I'm here to do the training. But the second hour was almost all rolling. So it was an hour of drilling, hour of rolling. I came from that world. So Sunday was so reminiscent of those beginning days. I kind of fell in love with it again. And I even had a conversation. I said, I love the way this training's been going lately. It feels different because I was out for a little bit. Between COVID training, I blew out my knee. I haven't been steady. And then I come back, groin injury. So it's like I haven't been steady for 2-3 years. It's been like out for 9 months, then back. And it's like, 1 day a week. Shoulder hurt, arm hurts. That competition training became my favorite day. I love it. But it's not for everybody. No, some people show up and they're like,
but then that's how you start. That's how you start changing the dynamics in the room. Like the dudes who thought they were up for it, they realize they're not up for it.
Yeah,
ones who thought they weren't up for it, you kind of spark this new little animal. Mm-hmm. Like, there's times where my 5 to 7 year olds are these little savages. There are times like I'll invite them. Right. And I'm like, and they're like in the adult class. And like people are like, what the hell is this? Because I want them to see, like, I got to, once again, socially engineer their environment. To the point where like they see this person, like, oh, that look cool. And everybody's rolling with them. It's like, all right.
They see what a next level of high level rolling looks like at an intense level.
Yeah. I want them to pick up the attitude. I want them to pick the approach. Like, they're not that bravado. You know what I mean? Like, walk around. Like, that's what I want them to pick up.
I see. It's funny to see them both ways. I hate it
when my son looks at me after he like armbars somebody or finishes them. Mm-hmm. I hate it when he looks at me and he's like, and I'm like, that's good, but calmate, bro. Like, don't be cocky about it. Because 2 seconds later, when you roll with that yellow belt, and then they work you.
Could be.
He knows the difference. I asked him, I was like, were you a nail or a hammer today? He's like, I was a hammer. I was a nail. So, like, he knows the difference. Yeah. He loves being a hammer.
Yeah.
We all do.
Sometimes it's kind of cool to go in there and mentally tell yourself, like, I'm just going to try new shit all day.
Like, it takes, to get there, there's a lot of humility that needs to be learned. You have to really, truly be able to
that
go.
Shit quick.
How do you learn it? Do you think you can create the environment for someone to learn it, or you think they got to learn it on their own?
You're saying from a coach's perspective,
yes.
Can it be done? I think it's all about the environment. I think it is, like, you keep on using the word social engineering. I think that's a really smart term.
That's
term. What it needs to be. I know I don't think I ever will. If I was ever to own a gym, I would absolutely do what you just said. If it grew to a point where I could break off, look, we're doing beginning training, there's advanced, or if I have classes, look, I'm going to have my advanced guys that know how to work, coaches, right, that know how to work with the white belts that aren't. Like, when I roll,
leaders, bro.
I'll take when I know that there's a new guy, I will take the new guy. I would say, hey, if they're bigger, and say, hey, first day, second day, let's roll. When we go to the rolling, maybe we're drilling together too, but when we go to the rolling, I'll make sure that I grab the person and say, you're probably not ready to roll. I'm going to show you some Jiu-Jitsu 101. He might have just learned some advanced move because just the drilling for that day, but I'll get him get into my guard, and I'll show him breaking the guard, passing, side control, mount, right? No submissions, just that series. And then I'll tell him at the end, I'm like, work this with the next guy. Tell the next guy, hey, can you show me your version of, hey, that guy, you shouldn't be just like trying to roll. Unless maybe you have some
no
background.
More than 40 people in your gym. If you want to be that detailed.
Unless you have some background, or you're a wrestler you know, you need
difficult.
Maybe. So check this out. So I literally.
What's the difficult?
I'm just saying, like the amount of detail you just went into. I know there's a lot of nuance in what you just said. It's like now try and do that to 40 people.
No, but I
you
have
were speaking
learned,
as a coach.
No, but I've learned I'm not a coach.
I know, but you said
I'm not there to coach. Well, I'm saying if that was my place, no. I went from what I would do to how I do it.
Yeah.
How I do it now is I grab a new guy, especially if they're bigger, and I do that. And I absolutely do that because I'm smart enough. Because again, I always say I recognize that that's his business. And if I am beating up the white belts, that white belt might not come back.
I think most.
And now I've affected you and your business, and I recognize that. Not everybody recognizes that. You joked with Piro the other day when we talked about Rolled and Light with the new guys. He's like, "No, I hammer them all the time." You know, right?
Yeah,
right. You joked about it.
I sarcastically say that all the time, but can I just tell you,
there are plenty of people that do that go, "I don't give a shit, white belt. I'm gonna beat up the white belt because I finally get somebody to beat up."
I think there's like a little weird like coach badge of honor that he gives to his students like along your way, and I don't know all of them. I'm not a coach, but I'm a very observant person, even to the point where it's like I've seen where the coach behind the white belt's back goes to the brown belt. He's like, you know,
and he'll do that all the time.
Yeah, but then you think you learned that coming up. You think you learned to be humbled by somebody that you got somebody they put an enforcer on you because everybody goes through that bell curve of learning. You don't even know how many times you were that white belt with your back turned. And the coach was like that. So it wasn't even the dude. It was just the dude who's been there for 10 years.
Are you saying it's a good or bad thing?
No, it's a great thing. But I'm just thinking like you learn shit like that, like from if you're observant and you see your coach and how they behave and stuff.
Oh shit, Felipe could look at me now, just look at me and not have to make a motion, and I'll be like.
But you as a white belt think that you naturally were in an environment that wasn't catered to.
It was engineered, is what you're saying.
It was yeah. I'm just saying it's like
a good gym. It's going to be engineered. It should never be a free for all. And I think most coaches, I would say, are smart enough to know, like,
but there's
if your coaches roll, like if your coaches, the only day that Felipe rolls.
Saturday
and Sunday on open mats.
He rolls every day. He goes to Deerfield. He goes to Miami.
Unless something's like really bothering him.
He trains every day, bro.
He's watching Monday through Thursday, our adult classes. He's watching. Mm-hmm. Saturday and Sunday, he does the drilling, and then he rolls too. That's the only day I see him where he's not completely out. But even then, he's got his eye on the mat.
My head is always
there's always a secondary coach. Esteban's always there, so it's the same thing. It's like they're both watching. They're rolling, but they're looking. And even Esteban now knows how to do it. Like,
hey,
give you one of these. He just turns the head a little bit.
How good does it feel as a coach when you could just like pretty much stop rolling and hold whoever you're rolling with? Just like kind of hold them and then like have a conversation. You know, because I've always been the guy who's like this, and my coach is like, and then it's like, okay, back to getting your ass.
You'll get there. You're gonna get there one day too, man.
I don't do that to my guys. I don't because
I
hated it. I hated it being done to me. I'm like, you.
I think it's funny.
Like, you know, like granted, like I had a lot of wrestling experience when I got into jiu-jitsu. I hated it when like these black belts would do that, and I'm like, you knew I was about to bust your ass. Like that's why you acting like you coaching me through a move I already got you in.
Yeah.
Like how the.
That I don't like. I don't like.
I was like, come on,
it's never been like it's never been rude, but I just think it's like
it doesn't happen to me too often now. But definitely back in the day, somebody would be like, "Oh wait, hold on, let me show you how to do that choke that you're about to lock in." Right? I think we all go. We've seen the memes.
I do that. I do that to guys that I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like as a joke.
Yeah.
So the only guys that like were really like as a joke.
You know, so what I do is, and I don't do it no more though, right? But like there be like I had this like there was this moment in time, right, where you know my guys would walk in, and I was very good at motivating my guys to fight all the time, give me their best physically.
Yeah.
But then I realized like my guys weren't getting nowhere. Funding was horrible for them, so I got better at kind of making a lifer. You know, like getting them to like come in and
fall in love with it.
Yeah, want to do it. But then that's hard because then when it came to times where like, yo, you've been in long enough, it's time to win a world title. They're like, I don't care about it. I'm like, fuck. Like, you know, I never put that animal in them.
Yeah.
So what I would do to those guys in that era, I'd grab them and I'd squeeze them. I'd be like, oh shit, I was in this position last night with my wife. And he's like, get off me, coach. And then I put him in a banana split, and I'm like, hey, this is familiar.
One of my favorites. Yeah. All right, guys, let's take a quick break. Let's give a shout out to Vincero.
Hey, I'm rocking.
You got the watch?
I do. I've been wearing it steady.
What do you think?
Watch.
You know, yeah. Thank you very much. This is for the price point. This is a great fashionable watch. I also went online because obviously when you have something, you kind of look it up.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I wore it. It feels great. I'm normally not a leather band guy. I like it.
Yeah.
And the best way I would describe it, it's like it's above great, but below expensive. This is like if you have multiple suits, multiple looks.
Yeah.
They could fit all those categories from the stuff that I saw online. Like, I mean, look at that one. I believe it's the same. We have the same watch.
It's pretty close to face. They're
No,
right at
it's
the
the
same
same-
price.
no,
But
it's the
these
same
were both
model.
like 150.
It's the same model. It comes. I looked at
Yeah,
it. This comes in like 18 different styles, bro. It's like, you like,
Yeah, I like I wear dark brown shoes, and I almost always wear a blue suit if I got to get dressed up. And this was perfect for me.
Yeah.
I do again agree for the price point. It's a great watch.
If you definitely want to own more than one watch for different, stylish occasions, like if you're like a chrono head.
What's funny is I won't say the brand, but I have like
a digital watch.
Yeah, I have a digital watch.
There's a
and I
name
have
for
the
it.
different bands, and I don't change it up too much, but like if I have gray, black, brown, I'll change it.
Yeah.
So like I do like that. And they actually have. You can even see it on the screen right now. Right, they have. It looks like you can replace the bands.
You could do
right?
anything
you
if you're so inclined.
So I mean, right, you can even probably just order them. Right, that's more of like a standard thing. I'm sure you can get them from there, but right, that's something that you can.
Yeah, usually changing bands is not that difficult of a thing if the push pins.
So let's give them the proper shout out. So support for today's episode comes from Vincero. Like chair. Vincero Collective. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they make exceptionally crafted and stylish watches at affordable prices.
Yep.
Other premium handcrafted watches have insane markups. You can finally own a high quality and lasting timepiece without going broke.
Right.
And the best part is listeners of the podcast are getting hooked up, and they can save even more with the biggest discount that Vincero offers. So you'll be looking for the perfect accessory to help elevate your style. For a limited time only, you get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide, any of their stuff on their website.
Yep.
Right? With code
JJD. Can I just add one more thing?
VinceroCollective.com. Go ahead.
The one thing I'm going to add.
Sure.
Even if the watch breaks, they guarantee that it will work at least twice a day.
You're an idiot.
Not their digital watches.
Yeah.
You have me listening real good.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Really? What?
You read the terms and conditions? Nobody reads the
I didn't
terms
see
and
that
conditions.
on the site.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, I love
made
it.
that up.
I've only
Vincero
got to wear it a couple of times, so I'm holding back from like a real good assessment of the watch.
I went
But
to a comedy show on a double date with it on,
Yeah.
and I got a compliment
Yeah.
from the husband.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like the setup here. Very
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Was it planned?
This was planned, yes.
He did all on his own.
Yeah, I dressed
I didn't have
myself.
to prompt him.
Yeah.
So they've got lots of other stuff on the website. And Bo, if you want to cut to the picture, right? We've got sunglasses. One of our actually the guys at Neutral Zone bought some bracelets today.
Yeah, bracelets.
So
I used to be into
there's
that.
some really cool stuff on the website. Check them out. Again, it
Jiu-jitsu
is
ruined bracelets for me.
Yes.
it's VinceroCollective.com. So again, they get the 20% off. So they can only get this offer. It's going to be for a limited time. So don't wait, or it's going to be too late. Get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with code JJD at Vincero Collective. Support our show by using the code in our post and on the YouTube video, on the podcast and stuff. There's actually a VinceroCollective.com/JJD link that you can go to. So then you don't even have to put in the code, I believe, and it just goes right through.
Then
right?
forward slashes.
It's VINCERO Collective.com. I guarantee that you'll find something that fits your style. So shop Vincero today.
Where's the
All right.
forward slash? Is that like after the period on the right hand side of the space bar? Where is that thing?
That's what we got him here.
It's the unshifted question mark.
All right, so let's get back to it. I actually have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I typed it in before we were going to read the Vincero shout out because I didn't want to forget, but I talk about getting. I have a really good story of when I as a white belt when I tapped out my black belt coach for the first time, and I know he wasn't rolling his hardest. It wasn't like we were competing, but I caught him in a Peruvian, and I know how he reacted. I'm going to explain how he reacted in a minute, but have you ever had one of your lower belts choke you out? And
Yes.
Was it like surprise? Was it like caught you slipping? Is it?
Hold on, I want to know more if there's an ego curve, like almost like how you get humbled the more you do this sport. That you, of course, he has the mentality to understand that that's going to happen, and probably that's his goal.
You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised.
But I feel like, is there like a white belt through black belt level on the consciousness that you have to? I mean, like,
Yes.
like your mentality. Like, I'm sure the first time you got caught, explain that versus the 10th time you got caught. Like, what were your feelings between the two?
I mean, I would assume that, first of all, it hasn't happened that many. Let's correct that.
My bad.
Yeah, that happened every day.
Well, on the first time, it can be like one of those, like, you're proud. You're like, oh, that's cool. You know, it was great. And then, like, you know, and then you try to run it through your head so it doesn't happen again, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, by the 10th time, I doubt I'll be even happy about it. I'm going to be really pissed. Like, something's going on. I mean, I'm going to be happy.
Not same guy, different guys.
Huh?
Like,
different guys, same guy.
I'd rather it be the same guy, because if it's different guys, then there's a problem. You know,
not like in the course of a week, but like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like
over a lifetime of jiu-jitsu.
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I remember every time I've been tapped, practice at not, just because that's me. That's how I got better.
That's how you learn.
I got better by envisioning my partner that beat me for me to kill him. I never focused outside on like who's the world champ. You know, I kind of, and I apologize if anybody out there is much more familiar with a bell curve than me, but from the way I understand a bell curve is you got the 95% at the top, and then you got the 2.5 at the bottom, and the 2.5 at the furthest to the top. I've never looked at like, I want to be like the Conor McGregor. I knew that because I understood that 2.5, that's pretty slim and it's high. I want to be at the 50%, not even the 95. I want to be the 50%. I got to be at the 50%. And once I'm at the 50%, then my goal is to climb this ladder. And then when I climb this ladder, usually the difference between these two guys is just this motherfucker wants it more. Like, so that's how I saw it in class. Like, I saw who it was. It was like from day one when I became Cyborg student. From day one, I met him coming into my wrestling room when I had a wrestling team on the beach in 2005. Much later. It was 2009. And he came in there because of another student of mine in wrestling was his student in jiu-jitsu. And then by coincidence, Abreu. But I'm not Brazilian. My family's Cuban. So it was weird, you know? And he walked in. He's like, oh, man, I enjoy wrestling. And shit the breeze. And we went at it. And before you know it, like, I'm taking him down. He got me down. And I was shocked. I was like, who is this guy? And then,
and you're doing jiu-jitsu at this time?
Never.
As well? Or you hadn't done jiu-jitsu?
No, never. Like, I grappled with some friends in the past that like would show me an armbar, but like, nah, it was definitely at the time where like no-gi jiu-jitsu was not considered jiu-jitsu. It was grappling. Nobody wanted credit for it, you know. So, but then that was always my side. Like, when I found out it was like, I want to beat him, and it's like, oh, but that's master. I'm like, I want to be him. Because remember, I come from wrestling. Like you guys know, like, there's 5 dudes on a squad in the weight division. I want to be good. And if I lose to you, you better be the world champ.
Yep.
If I'm sitting the bench, there better be a reason I'm sitting the bench behind this world champ. So when I came in, I was like, I'm coming there to break him. But if I'm coming there to break him, I'm coming there to make him better. Like, and then like, and I was just, so that was my notion. So like now as a coach, when my students do that to me, I get in that same mode, and I'm like, you never sweep me again. And then my team, my students will be like, that's crazy. Like, coach, I was just trying to roll with you. I was like, I'm sorry to tell you, you think I don't see you as a threat? I do see you as a threat. And this is out of respect. It's not out of disrespect. It's not saying that you're less than me. It's like, yo, you sweat me. But
so like in one of those instances, and this is where I think about the instance that happened with my coach. You're rolling with the student. You're probably not rolling 100%. You're probably not giving him everything that you got. If it was, you know, I think that's part of it. Like, we have to realize, you tap out a higher belt, he's probably not giving you everything that he's got, right? He can't. If he does, you're going to get murdered every day. You're never going to learn. And again, everything we talked about before, you're not going to want to be there. You're going to quit. Your coach is going to get upset. Like, you kind of know. Again, I like the Piro, the way that he says it is like, I go just a little bit above what they're giving me. You know, if they're giving me blue belt stuff, I'm going to give them purple belt stuff, or maybe 2-stripe blue belt stuff, right? Just going to make sure I'm a little bit better than them, so they're not dominating me. They're having fun. They're learning to love jiu-jitsu. I'm not pushing anybody out the door by beating their ass, right? So that's how I roll. I believe in that. Like, I'm not going to let you tap me, but
I feel like
give you just enough to give you a hard time. And if you're getting better, I'm gonna give you a little bit more. When I rolled with my coach, he wasn't giving me everything he got.
Yeah,
I kind of had him in a front choke. I had the collar, and I'm like, we've done the Peruvian a million times here, because he taught us a lot of advanced moves at white belt. And boom, I just threw my leg over and I got him, and he tapped. But this is the part that really always interests me, or that I like to share, is that
he was already in a compromised position.
He did it. He was just like, wow, damn shit, man, can't believe he tapped me. And we just kept on rolling. When I went home that night, it was more Facebook. I think maybe he had Instagram. He was a Facebook guy, and he posted that I had submitted him and how proud he was. that showed me the humility. Like he was super humble. And he put like he wrote a whole thing about how like he was proud that his student
feelings about
and got me slipping. Now the next time I went to class, he did this to me. He goes, "You got me last time." He goes, well, he went like this. He went like this. He goes, "But I just opened up the book." He's like, "I dusted it off," and he was just like, he knew like it was time to elevate.
Yes.
But he made me feel good about it.
Yes.
Don't ever celebrate if you're the lower belt submitting a higher belt or your coach. Don't celebrate. Right? Don't do that because you're gonna get murdered. But I didn't. I was humble about it. We went into the next role. I didn't celebrate, and that's what I got back. And that's why he was an awesome. I look back on those blessed,
man.
times as
you got blessed because
those are some of my funnest times in jiu-jitsu.
That wasn't my process, man.
Yeah.
My process wasn't like that. Me not like let's be honest with it. You know what I mean? Like in the room when people realized like who I was and what my background was, because I was a wrestler, everybody wanted to try to break me more. That's one, you know, and because I wasn't,
you're already tough,
and because I wasn't I wasn't Brazilian. People wanted to put a little more work on me. You know what I mean? So like that's just the way it worked.
These were the early days.
Huh?
Still, yeah.
Did people avoid you because they knew you were a wrestler?
They avoided me until they saw that I got my extra rounds in, so then they felt brave enough to come in. You get what I mean? Like they would be like, "Oh, 10 rows of 10 rows." Yeah, tired now. But
he was doing jiu-jitsu at a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different period of jiu-jitsu when you were doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, listen, the first gentleman I ran into when it was for jiu-jitsu was Daniel Valverde, runs MMA Masters.
Okay.
If you don't know who he is, I promise you, he's a legend of a legend. I don't care what anybody says. His grappling skills are amazing. I mean, he beat Vinny Magahash after. I'm sorry if I slaughtered his name. Magalesh. After the UFC show, when it was Minotauro on the show, he was Minotauro's jiu-jitsu coach, Daniel, on the show, and then he showed up to a Grappler's Quest, and they needed a match for Vinny. He went out there out of shape, but no, he put work on him, man. Like he got skill. Like this man, you want to roll, have fun.
Yeah.
Go check him out. Black belt judo, black belt jiu-jitsu. Well, he was my first, and I was in 2005 when I came back to visit from college.
That's early, bro.
And my two friends that in high school that were teammates in wrestling, the Alfonso brothers, Pablo and Pedro Alfonso, which were MMA guys down here, they were messing with jiu-jitsu, and he was doing it out of like we're talking about like sheds in the park on the beach, and he wasn't calling it jiu-jitsu. It was just one of those like, yeah, we're rolling, we're all training. Like no gi, I don't care. Gi, I don't care. We knew nothing. That's why at that era,
it was almost catch wrestling.
Yeah, it was just like whatever. Let's just roll. And like, because I wrestled, he was always like, game, let's do this. Like, and so he never really showed me nothing. It was more training for me.
You went there to go spar.
Yeah, like you know, and that era, like he never cared. He never stressed about like the jiu-jitsu philosophy. So I knew nothing. But when I really got into putting the gi in 2009, that was strange. Like you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't like that. Like, oh, my student did this. You would not get that.
Yeah.
Like no,
nobody would. Wasn't going past the gym doors.
No, bro, no. Man, you don't understand. Like I would almost get curb stomped if like I when I would tell people, yeah, I took my coach down. It's like, but I wrestled at college, my man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's supposed to happen. Like we can't.
Is that when you first put the gi on? 2009? Was that your first jiu-jitsu?
2009, mid 2009.
So besides that, how much has changed? You've seen the evolution of jiu-jitsu.
And the gi.
I think the evolution of jiu-jitsu in South Florida. Period. I mean, forget about the entire country and jiu-jitsu itself. It's so different now than it is before.
Look, when I was in jiu-jitsu here, when I got into it in 2009, right? There was a gentleman named Boca. They call him Boca.
Okay.
I don't know his full name or if that's even his whole name, but he's the one who he partnered up with. It was Pablo Popovich, and then it was Cyborg School, and it was Boca, like I said. And with those three schools, that's when they won the world championship in 2011.
Was it Wagner?
He wasn't. No, he was Popovich.
Oh, he was Popovich.
Yeah, I don't know if he was a black belt yet at the time either. I don't know, but
he was talking about like why they would go around like that. They would just
train.
But they would go to all those paid competitions.
Yes.
And then they would just show up and then like just win every. They were just like, we're gonna go there and win $1,000. We're gonna go here and win $1,000.
Man, think about it. The porn convention would come to Miami Beach and they hold a jiu-jitsu tournament during the same convention, and it was like $10,000.
It's pretty much the same thing.
We'd go to all we go to all these events, you know. So that era was just like, all right, who your guys, who's our guys, let's get together. And, you know, they made that the Avengers flag ordeal. And, dude, like, it was different in the sense where, like we want to fuck shit up. We want it. But in that same
Dude,
era,
it was like Vikings charging another town.
yeah, but in that same era, just look at the craziness that was in Florida. You had Marcelo Garcia down south, right? You had Alexander Saccone.
Marcelo Garcia was teaching down here before New York.
School, yeah, my man.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know
I was
that.
about to ask him the same thing. I was like,
Yeah,
so
down
was
south.
here?
Yeah, down south, southwest, South Miami. So, man. And you had Alexander Saccone, right? Which his son, like, I think just won the trials in Brazil as well in jiu-jitsu. I mean, phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner.
So he'll be working this
You had
weekend.
Cavaca. Cavaca was in Florida. You had Hubson Maru.
Hobson Mora.
Sorry if I slaughtered anybody.
Yeah.
He's in Florida.
Yeah.
Dude, like, who else? Buchecha was just like a young lad, like in Florida. Like,
Well, yeah.
like
It is a Brazilian hub. This is one of them for sure.
Yo,
Like,
Florida was
California
phenomenal.
The Mecca.
The
It
business,
still is kind of the Mecca.
You
Yeah,
watch it become
Popovich.
there, yeah.
and then Popovich had Wagner, had AJ Sosa, had countless others. You know, they had that guy Boca. But what killed a lot of these dudes is Miami is so different financially when it comes to martial arts. Like, so that's why a lot of them had to like, and he went out to New York and kind of blew up from there.
Yeah.
But it was.
Would you just kind of mean that wasn't money? People didn't want to pay for it? What do you
It's
mean?
a hard market.
It was
Is that-
different.
Is that the atmosphere in Florida, Miami, makes you feel like you're working, and then you realize nobody's working. Like the flow, it doesn't feel like no one feels tentative to actually move. It doesn't. They don't, like, it seems like people are not obligated to move. Like, maybe it feels different now.
You mean you were talking about literally moving
Like
in
work,
No,
like
people-
work, like
people-
work, like
people
yeah,
do.
like people are just like, yeah, I work, I do marketing, right? And you're
Yeah.
like, and then you realize they don't do shit. Like, they really don't. Like, everybody.
Oh, you just say okay, like that. Yeah, we call it like the
No
atmosphere.
work.
Nobody
the,
was an official.
work
the
ethic.
workers here. Yeah.
it was
no work
weird,
ethic.
you know. So like,
Like, what do you do? I'm an actor, and
So-
you know,
so-
never had an acting gig
exactly.
ever. Yeah.
So combine that with the Brazilian mentality of jiu-jitsu, like it's chill,
Laid
it's a
back,
relaxed sport, and then nobody know how to run a business, nobody know how to charge, nobody know how to
Yeah.
get clients in. Like, it was a shit
Yeah.
show, you
Okay,
know.
I get that.
And Marcelo, you know, he had the bounce. Luckily, you know, and if I'm wrong, I guess anybody put it in the comment section.
This is your story.
His business,
fine.
his business partner or the gentleman who helped him was just a student at the time. Invited him in New York. I think he was like a chess champion or whatnot.
Okay.
And he told him, and he kind of set all the chips up for him. And that, you know, that's just
Yeah.
one of those
It was
stories.
like a
from around.
mentor-mentee type thing.
Yeah, you know,
It's
and like,
probably a trade-off for
I
jiu-jitsu.
say it all the time. Like, again, most of I believe that gyms that have failed, they fail because you're an athlete or you're somebody who came up in the game and doesn't necessarily understand or didn't understand how to market. Now it's different. If you come up in a system, you come out of a gym, there's marketing, there's Facebook, there's
Yes.
Instagram,
yes,
there's, you know, I got to do my, you know, once you get on the podium a few times or you're high level, you know, maybe there's a instructional or BJJ Fanatics. There's a business around it now
Yes.
where you can make money, even if you have a small gym, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, honestly, Gordon doesn't have a gym. Now he can't, all the money he made,
He's got sponsors wazoo, though. That's
but
different.
he, right, again,
He's got BJJ
but right,
Fanatics money.
but he never, without owning a gym, you could make money. You could
Yeah,
be a
it's very
jiu-jitsu
new, very
practitioner,
new, very new.
be training at somebody else's gym or be a coach, never
Yeah.
own a gym and make money. I think ultimately, I've asked the question
That was
a lot.
res-
It's like,
that was
can you
reserved
make
for, like,
money
cardio
without
kickboxing.
owning the gym? The answer is now yes, you can.
well,
You know.
yes.
Again,
But do you think it's a yes because like there's a formula out there, or because a yes because like if
You can reach more people, I
But-
think.
I think okay, so you can make money, but it has a lifetime. It's not. It's finite.
Mhm.
You're not going to be able to do it forever. I think the gym is where you build that next generation. You turn, you know, Gordon Ryan turning or creating 10 other Gordon Ryans that are at his gym, bringing in people, bringing in more, right? And then, you know, listen, if you're a coach, you maybe get.
He said
I don't
he
know,
might
like you're
not
getting
even
a piece
open
of
a
the pie.
school,
Like,
though.
hey, does Danaher get a little right for coaching him? Right? I'm sure he's got to be paying his coach, right? It's like boxing, right? You have a corner 30%. Wow, that's
He's also a
crazy.
coach, too,
There's
so he gets compensated.
30%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's 30% of in boxing. I think it's something around 30%, maybe even more. That goes to your coaches, your corner man, your cut man, right?
Mhm.
So there's got to be money. Like, yeah, you're making that money, but in order for there to be longevity in jiu-jitsu, I do think that you should own a gym because now you have this home base. You're only one injury away from never being able to make money again, right? You can hurt yourself.
yes,
Speaking of which, right, you said we were talking earlier. You had an injury,
yes,
right? You had to we talked about it off air.
yeah.
Let's talk about it, right. That's one injury away from like I can't teach jiu-jitsu again if this ends my career.
I'm still very skeptical
Now-
on teaching right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, as we was talking and I was rambling, I had to in my head, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm trying to recollect like where I was trying to go with it because like I still have like post-concussion syndrome.
Let's. So how long ago was this? You had an injury
November 27th.
This past year.
Yep.
So we're coming up on a year.
Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody what happened.
I was just practicing with one of my kids, and we're working some technique, and I went to go take him down, and I saw he wasn't reacting accordingly to like fall safely. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll bring him down slowly. But he kind of just collapsed. I don't know if I can't recall like that, but if he just collapsed or being funny. And he pulled my weight with him. And before you know it, I hit the top left side of my head. And I went from rolling to, like, I had no feel of nothing. I was full quadriplegic. I was full. It took a while for it to all come back. It came back that day. But
that's still scary.
The issue.
Did you go to the hospital right after that?
Yeah, I went to the ER, and I don't know if I can say the name of the hospital. It's the worst piece of shit place on the planet. It's the worst, man. It's the worst. You can. We don't. It's the worst, man. I got there maybe at 1 o'clock.
Does it rhyme with Raxon?
I'm trying to think of a good match, but I got there like at 1 p.m. My wife and my daughter finally met me there, and I got the neck brace on and off, and. Man, I never saw a doctor there, man. Like put really? Like this, like when I rolled in there, the doctor was like, "Oh my God, let's put him in the CT machine, let's put him in the MR machine." After that, though, I only saw nurses, and not even the same nurse twice. Wow. Right, and we talking about all night, and throughout the time, my jaw started clenching. Started clenching. Like all my other residual effects were far worse. It lasted for a good 2 months too, and the torture I'm about to tell you. So there's a nerve in your face is. You get like lockjaw, it's, but the main nerve is called transgeminal neuralgia or some sort of, hopefully I'm saying it correct.
Somebody will correct us online, don't worry.
And all the doctors apparently majority of the pain clinics in the U.S. came up due to this pain. Like people turn schizo because it's pain. Like we're talking about, it's a central nerve in the head. And I spent I spent the first 3 weeks with that without knowing what the issue was.
Golly, man.
Right. And as I'm calling back the hospital, and I'm like, you guys cleared me with a clean bill of health. Like, I can't put my head down. I can't move my head. I didn't eat for 11 days. I couldn't eat, but I had to learn to use my electric toothbrush to massage my jaw from the outside and then stick it in my jaw and sip through a straw. Because I still couldn't open it wide. And I'm getting these residual effects. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? I'm like laying on the couch.
And you said you were just like a few inches off.
Like a few inches, man.
You
like
probably hit the mat harder than that a million times in your wrestling and jiu-jitsu career.
Million times, man.
That's the human body.
And and I'm going through this nonsense, and I'm talking to the hospital, and like, go find out, like, these things started unraveling. I realized, like, I went from a scary incident, right? That was, when you learn what it is, you realize it's pretty detrimental, right? I start recalling everything in my life. And I start becoming a lot more picky on my wife wearing a seatbelt and my daughter's seatbelt because I had an extreme case of whiplash.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. But when you hear whiplash, you think it's a joke. Like, oh.
Call 1-800-411.
My dude, do you understand?
Hey, they don't sponsor the show, don't they?
Hey, yo, if you don't know that number and you're from Florida, I want to know how much rent is under that rock.
I used that one time when I got into an accident here when I first moved to Florida. But go ahead.
And then that started bringing me back onto, I'm started analyzing my coaching better and how I coach and what I coach and how and so where I'm getting at is like that injury. Like, you're right. Like, it was something that happened so like random, and it became. And it was an injury, right?
Benign accident.
And then it got even worse due to the horrible medical attention I seeked. And it didn't go for a day, it didn't go for 2. It went so life-changing, right? That today, like, as we speak now,
you're still dealing with that?
Here, psychologically.
It's PTSD. Is it going to come back?
Yeah. It's PTSD because post-concussion syndrome is a real thing. It's a serious thing. Like, people don't get it. Like, these things come later, which then that's what changed my whole mindset in regards to like I baby my athletes even more. Like, yo, stop, man. Like, you just did this. Like, yo, why did your head hit like that? Like, I see it much more often now, I guess, because I'm looking for it.
Right.
But then I realized, like, man, like anybody can be there. Like, come on, man, I wrestled my whole life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's bring another one, like Benjamin Kuzo.
Oh, Ben Kuzno. Yeah, man, that's tragic.
Kunzel.
So tragic.
Kunzel
you know what I mean?
In Miami,
Awesome dude, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. I known him since he was a kid.
He's a beautiful dude.
But What the fuck?
I don't even know.
No, but I'm just saying. But
I don't even know what happened.
How many
in
times has that dude double leg somebody? How many times has he been double leg? How many times he's been joking around?
The human
in his
body
like,
is freaking fragile.
I totally understand that PTSD thing because I had a scary thing that happened to me July last year, and I almost died. And it turned out to be a infection in my head from teeth.
Oh yes, man.
And I almost died. I'm still recovering from that, but mentally,
it's gonna be a battle.
All right, so
it changed my life.
As somebody who had a heart attack,
I feel that. Yeah,
I had a heart attack.
It's like anxiety.
Within just a few months, I was getting pain, and again, I didn't understand it. I was getting pain. There's a little thing here in your sternum that hangs down, and when I got back to jiu-jitsu within like 3-4 weeks. I was training again, took it easy, and I didn't realize it though. But I would be like, if I was hunched over, the pain, I didn't know it was this thing until the doctor put his finger on it. I would be hunched over at a computer all day or
like
whatever,
on your diaphragm,
and it was putting pressure, and I would feel it all through my chest, and I'm like, I'm having another heart attack. I had to leave work. I went back, had to check myself into the hospital because I was having.
I feel that.
You don't know, but it was here. I'm in bed. They went through all the things. They had to go back in and check my stent. I had 4 stents put in. They had to go check them all. But again, I had that, like, everything was like, oh shit, is this another heart attack?
Yeah.
The doctor comes in, I'm laying in bed. I go, I got this pain. He goes, right here. I'm like, ow. He goes, yeah, that's physical pain. That's not your heart. Walked out. He's like, he's fine.
Yeah.
After I got of course, they did all of the tests again and went back in and got charged for all that shit. Yeah.
You know the old saying?
But I've gotten really good with it because now if I get a little pain, I'm like, stop, and I go, okay, that's because I moved like this.
And you got an injury to tell you that, right? Man, I'm a big proponent of this, right? Like obviously it ain't our story to tell, and let that person want to tell, but I like to know every single detail of how Ben got hurt, and not to point fingers or anything. Really know I think story. It's a research, it's a research thing. Like you got to know what's going on. Like I said, who would have knew like what I had was a severe case of whiplash, right? Like man, they thought my head was floating on my neck. Like we're talking about fusing my neck. We're talking about fusing my C1 to C2, fusing my C1 to C2. Like I wouldn't have never been under this because they didn't know what was going on. They're like, yo, there's a problem. Crazy. So then go find out like what he said. Like he said he almost died from an infection right in his jaw. Like, and I start realizing like, yo, these are things that I've heard many times that people just brushed off. No, my man. Like the effects can come. Like there's
residual.
It's so fast.
Like man, you really think that impact is what caused me the injury that I had. But it's so severe that there was something underlining there that I brushed off before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
So you get what I mean? It's like, and in jiu-jitsu, everybody in jiu-jitsu was
that aggravated something else that was already. That's what you
had something going on already.
And
same thing. So I had this infection going on, but what I didn't realize was that I had issues with liver that were going on that I didn't know, and I wasn't watching my pee. And that's what was the first sign. And no, it's just, I don't know. It's just discolored. Maybe, I don't know. I'm smoking too much weed. Or
I think as men too, we like everything is just like, it's nothing.
Dude. And now it's like, I'll feel, if I feel a little bit nauseous, if I feel a little bit dizzy, or if I, it's like,
oh shit, it's back.
Bro.
Yeah.
And I don't want nobody.
Happens to this day.
Yeah, and I don't want nobody out there to be panicking and me thinking I'm telling. No, listen, you got your risk of injury in anything you do, right? But what I'm coming at is like in the jiu-jitsu world. Every time I said I had an issue, they'd be like, "Oh, go to yoga class and go stretch." I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, go to yoga class. Like, what is that gonna do for me?" Oh no, don't go to the doctor because you know they were trying to rob your insurance.
Makes you more.
But dude, if you got insurance, go fucking go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go.
I'm not a big fan of the coaches that like train through the pain.
Walk it off.
Okay, if you got a competition coming up and that's how you make your money, okay, maybe that's a conversation you have.
It's a paycheck.
But if you're a hobbyist or somebody that's just doing jiu-jitsu for themselves, maybe you're going to compete, but you're not doing this for money it's not about the podium, it's about the exercise, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, whatever it is. That shouldn't be the same conversation you have with all your students. I've been in rooms, and I won't say the name, but I've been in rooms where the coach says that and had given that speech of like, train through the pain, you can do it, find something to do. And I'm like,
was he a champion?
Yes.
He won?
Yeah.
You know what makes me laugh? The ones that didn't.
Yeah.
There's so many of those, man.
That tell you to train through the pain and do all that.
My whole career, man. Like, I got blessed. I won my first world title as a blue belt, right? And after that, like, I was doing well. I was winning everything. And then you have people in the room that tell me, "Yo, Will, we got to get together. We got to train." No, Will, you can't train like that. And I because I was a blue belt, I was like, I can't talk up to these guys like this, right? But in my mind, I feel like saying, "Motherfucker, I'm winning. You not.
Yeah.
Like, stop telling me what to do. How about you do what I'm doing? You know." So like, I asked that because a lot of people who tell you that stuff like
that's that wrestling
true,
mentality.
though.
Yeah.
Like, what did you win, man? Like, you know, like, tell me that nonsense.
Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta, you gotta consider the source.
There's an opposite effect to that, right? Like, I was in the military, right? Like, I've been in stressful situations. So it's like, for me, like, I know I'm a hobbyist, and like, I'll go hard against people who want to go hard because what I think scrapping is fun, you know? But like, I got the opposite of that. Like, when people take it too seriously, I almost start laughing because I'm just like, bro, like, you're gonna, you know, that Excel spreadsheet's gonna be hard to do with a headache in the morning.
Yeah,
you know,
like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the guy that's
I got the opposite.
Hobbyist.
I got the opposite effect.
And I'm not saying that you can't take it seriously, but when it's the hobbyist,
Yes,
who's trying to murder people,
there's a difference.
Or really, like, we've got certain people in our gym, we know who they are, who show up late for the warm ups, and then they jump in and they want to murder everybody. But as soon as you're putting it on them, my toe, my big toe, I got an ingrown hair, I got an ingrown toenail.
No,
you can't.
You get those.
Look, when I'm hurt, I'll tell somebody, like, listen,
all the
I got the groin is usually the only thing.
What do
that
you do?
I've had
I got
to
a
say.
groin injury. You're gonna have to.
I got a groin injury. I don't ever tell anybody, like, hey, I had a heart attack. Take it easy on me. As a matter of fact, I go, if you take it, like, when people are, hey, you okay? And if you take it easy on me, I'm going to work you hard. If I see that you take it easy on me, like you think you're doing me a favor, I'm going to go really hard on you. So don't. But when I had the groin injury, that was a bitch. That's like 5 months of, like, I can't really move to a certain side. I'd have to literally, like, okay, I'm going to pull guard, or hey, just come on top, like jump on top because I'm going to be here, and I'd let them work, and then I'd work what I could. But I couldn't really go from this side because I couldn't push the leg in.
Yes.
So I couldn't, like, shrimp or push, or I just couldn't do anything here. I had to keep this leg down because I couldn't squeeze it. I couldn't push it down. Okay. So I was always on this side. Yeah. But I would tell him, said, listen, I got a groin injury. I'm going to be on this side. If you go this side, I'm probably going to tap because I can't move that leg and it's painful.
Yes.
And they would be okay with that. But that's probably the only time I was just like, hey, take it easy on me because I got this injury.
Yeah.
And I'm also not trying to murder them. I know I'm going to let you work because you're taking it easy on me. But with the heart attack, I was just like, fucking don't take it easy on me. I was just
I think you learned to tell the difference literally like after a year and a half. You got like the guy who's got a competition coming up, and he knows that you are an active dummy for them. Like you're just good enough to give them the resistance, to give them a good training round. You are competitive.
Should that be discussed, though? If you're a hobbyist and this guy's going to be going to competition and you don't even know, maybe you don't know him too well. Like, should he be telling? Is it his responsibility?
I make my guys in my gym when they meet somebody or somebody new come in the gym for them to ask, right?
Yeah.
What belt are you? And I'm this belt.
100%.
Because since the leg lock game, you got guys in there, right, who like literally come in there pussyfooting and looking like a white belt, right? And all of a sudden, like they get in a position and they rip a heel hook. Yeah. So I've gotten into arguments, and I'm talking about arguments where like I grab people, I have to throw some out the gym because like that makes no sense. You guys should be ready for whatever. Hey, listen, don't insult our skills. I didn't say we're not ready. I'm saying don't be slick. We don't know who you are. You're in our home. We like to be nice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Do them. You can do them, but let us know you're doing them. Yeah. So that when we see you, we don't like. I mean, who's expecting a white belt to do a heel hook? Like you can, but
in my gym, all of them.
You know what I mean?
So
like,
now,
serious. So
now you know Drew.
Yes,
you know Drew Phoenix. How do you know Drew? Because we'll get into his theory of the white belt.
2009.
Yeah, from the Popovich days. When you started?
Yeah,
because he was at Popovich, right?
Yeah.
He was at Popovich. Do you know Junior Vega? Little Junior,
you would have to know. You would have to know him. Yeah,
he's part of the show. He was a host for quite some time.
I'll show you a picture.
But he was from Popovich. I think he actually said, like Wagner gave him. He was at Popovich's, but Wagner like gave him his purple belt. Like he has that memory of that time.
Okay.
But you know Drew from those days.
Yes.
Okay. You know Drew is an advocate for
leg locks. Yeah.
White. He's like
Yes.
I know Junior.
Yeah.
Junior.
I know you know.
He was a big part of the show for a long time. I'm hoping to get him back on 100 on episode 100
all the time.
So, what point was I making?
There's a difference.
No, you're like
Drew specifically says my white belts. What does he say? My belt train heel hooks because my white belts know how to defend heel hook. My white belts do heel hooks because they know how to defend heel hooks. He has a way of saying it.
They're not allowed to do them. He'll do the straight foot lock.
No. He says,
but he trains.
No, there's like literally. He said he was on the show.
He does train him.
He says,
but
my white belts do heel hooks because they know how to defend heel hooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Or he has a saying the way he says it, and it was clever.
I think
and it was on the show.
He's got a rule though.
But
when they roll.
like it's not like, hey, don't be a brown belt ripping a heel hook on a white belt. But he teaches them from when they begin to at least know how to defend it, so that they can understand it. Sure. And I get that. I can't say that I'm in total agreement with it. I think that there is like a level of
why would you ignore 50% of the human body?
Yeah,
Joe Rogan?
I think.
Stop.
I mean, it was brown belts.
Bring that back. We got to talk about
brown
that.
belts back in the day, right? It was just like at brown belt. That's when you start really learning like leg attacks, things beyond a straight ankle lock, right? I think I understand it, and it's necessity. And now the rules have changed for even some of the smaller competitions at lower belts.
White belts could do straight.
You have to do it. So I get it. The field has changed, but I still think we all know you got a spazzy guy in there that's like, oh shit, look at these.
Yes,
and he just does it a little bit too much, or he doesn't. There's the time on the mat. I think is important for something that could be so dangerous,
of course,
and rip somebody's knee with just a small amount of effort.
Yes. So
I think there's a lot more responsibility that goes along with it. I don't necessarily agree with him. I respect him for what he does, and I've gone to him like, yeah, teach me some of these heel hooks and leg locks. But I don't necessarily think that I agree with it from, again, a gym ownership perspective. If it's building a business and people are losing, or are blowing out their knees, it's not good for business.
But usually that's not the case, right? So usually the school who's doing that's not the case. Like I wouldn't doubt like the level of the percentage of injury from his school and ankles. Mm-hmm. It's probably very low because the atmosphere is correct. So they already know each other's limitations and see. So I have no problem with that. I teach my guys everything. Where I was getting at with that sense is like when guys come fresh off the street, like a new guy or
a visitor or a new student,
and like we ask them like, well, Bell, and like they try like, like they'll pussyfoot around it, and then you eventually find out they're like, oh, it shouldn't matter. I'm like, yeah, it does.
You're thinking more about a no-gi situation too. They're not putting on their uniform. They're not putting on the belt.
We don't even know. Yeah. So like how my students would register. All my students behave with new students as a way to bring in a new client. Right. All my students,
they understand that.
Why? Like, they want
that is good coaching practice.
So I know what they're practicing in their head. They tell themselves, oh, this is a new guy. I'm gonna go with these, and all of a sudden this dude, hey. The first one was cool, but then I'll be like, hey, relax. Like this guy, he's not so great at it. And then like I've gotten answers from people be like, oh, well, he should know. I like, my man, listen, don't be slick with me. I'm telling you that I'm not saying he doesn't know. I'm just letting you know it's not his forte. So can you work something else if you're so good? Like this is all you're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's spamming the same.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, because I could simply tell you, let's stand up and let's only do ADCC rules. By the time we get into the second 5 minutes, you can't pull guard. You're not going to like me blasting you through the house, Like,
Felipe gives me a lot of shit when he'll walk around the room and he'll say something. If he sees me in a north-south choke on a lower belt, or he sees me with somebody in a lockdown in a banana split, a white belt with a leg over my shoulder and I'm doing a banana split. He says something. I'll tell him I'm not ripping this. I'm doing it gently. I'm gonna let him tap. I'm not like
killing him softly.
I'm not going for like the knee. I'm like I'm just really going for the stretch. But he'll be like I'm of the mindset. I love like the north south is my favorite. I just feel like most people don't coach how to defend somebody going north on you. So it's been my favorite, Marcelo, a la Marcelo Garcia. I learned it never taught by a coach, straight from Marcelo Garcia on YouTube. But he'll walk around and he'll just be like, it's almost like real original, Milt, good train new moves, and I'm there in the north-south. And I'm like, I just get there, but I love it.
He's trying to get you to black belt.
There are these little intricacies in that move that I'm like, if I just move the head a little bit this way, I can push out, holding the body down. Maybe I have an arm in. If I can't get it on somebody, there's a way I lay next to them. And
you're a black belt. You're a black belt at that move.
I love practicing that because there's a little flow to it for me. But he definitely gives me shit, like you're saying, like do something else, like practice something else. I'm not great at triangles or arm. Like I don't go for that. I'm going sweep, get on top,
of course,
big boy,
dominate. Go north south. That's just like been my flow. So anyway, but he gives me shit just like that. He'll tell me like, work on something else, bro. You got.
You're a paying
other
customer.
stuff,
He's talking
right?
about some dude walking in there,
Bro.
and then he starts moving like.
I had that with that guy
Like
that didn't
Ryan
like that I
Hall.
wore a t-shirt over my rash guard and tried to choke me with my t-shirt.
Yeah, and I think everything that you've said, the social engineering, and then a lot of good coach. I've had a weird journey so far. So I've been to 3 schools, and it's because I just move. I keep doing better at life, and so that's really been my problem. Like
he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's like a brown belt at life.
And I commend that. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
if I got students, man, that are longer than me, or with me longer than 4 or 5 years, and they haven't moved forward, I feel like I failed as a coach. Man, I don't care how good I make in jiu-jitsu, man. If I don't get you to like.
So
Man,
like
I need a
cross-training.
job, and then you don't talk to the next dude in the gym who may have a job opportunity.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I don't have that camaraderie in my gym, I feel like I'm doing a
That's-
shitty job as a coach.
That's the point I was making. Is
Right.
like that Felipe had a great environment.
Mhm.
I moved to Davie.
Mhm.
I went to a different school, and then I went to a different school just because of fit, whatever,
Yes.
and my own personal views on stuff. And then, and it's like, dude, every single school, even the one that I left, it's like the gym environment is what you were saying is conducive. Like your students are welcoming. Your new students are learning how to be welcoming, and they learn those lessons through the coaching and the social engineering that you do, right? You're passing on your values as a coach, and I think that's where it comes from, man. It comes like the gym that I'm at now, bro. Like we watch UFC fights together. I feel lucky that I've only been there for less than a year, and they invite me to go watch a UFC with them. That says something about them, but it also says something about me. I'm a person that they could invite to go do. They want to hang out, they don't have to.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna pay my membership. I live down the street.
Mhm.
Like it's convenient. It's a good school. It's a Henzo Gracie school. It's good lineage, great instructor. Shout out Adrian, right? But like I think as a student, even though you're a paying customer, you almost have a responsibility because of jiu-jitsu, the way jiu-jitsu is, the way jiu-jitsu culture is, to also give back to jiu-jitsu no matter what your belt level is. Because you got to learn that those are the people that you're training with. If you're going to go fight in a competition, I don't like to call it fight. If you're going to go in a competition and compete, like those are the people, that's the iron that's going to sharpen your iron, right? Like those are, and then what you said, I've seen people get jobs because of jiu-jitsu. I've seen like people that like, hey bro, I do film. Like, let me, our gym just had a promo video that I reposted out. It's a cool promo video. There's a dude that trains. He's a white belt. His son trains. He's a dude, just like a beautiful person, bro. Like, when you talk to him, when you roll with him, he's getting his ass whooped. He's like, oh, I'm fat.
It's like being in a fraternity.
Yeah, but it's like
you get the.
But he gave back. He's like, hey, Papo, mira, I do film. Motherfucker brought a drone in the gym. We're like rolling, filming different angles, cut it all together.
But again, it's a fraternity because it's like a fraternity because you can go anywhere with your gi and you're probably going to be welcomed in for a role.
Yeah, but he's
not
a
a known
white
asshole.
Belt.
Right?
He's like a brand new white belt. His kid's been training there for a while. And he's
jiu-jitsu, baby.
I know,
It's
like
beautiful,
that's.
man.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I think
Wrestling's not like that. We've had people like wrestling is not like that, right?
you.
I mean, wrestling's
But
like.
look, hold
I
up.
wanna where you at.
Yeah, but
it's
not the same, brother.
it's a tougher love.
You're probably not competing. Forget about like your team is one thing, but when you're competing in wrestling versus competing in jiu-jitsu,
There's no wrestling classes. That's the difference.
Yeah,
there's no dude running wrestling.
Well, I mean, what's your
gyms.
opinion on that? Like, we've had a lot of wrestlers come in and say, "Nah, man, it's like you almost have to hate each other."
It's a barrier.
You know?
yeah, but it's a hate, man. It's not a hate where like I want to see this person fail and do bad. It's a hate where like I hate you motherfuckers. I won in that spot. But I promise you, man, like the respect that I have for my teammates, man.
Well, that's
even
what I'm saying, not
even the
teaming.
ones I didn't like, yo, if you fucked with my teammate in any kind of way.
That's like, I can talk bad about my family, but don't you talk about bad about my family.
Man,
And you also celebrate their victories.
Yeah,
Of course,
man,
they do a good job.
And this is what you
You're
gotta
an
get.
asshole.
Like,
Nice
But
double
even
leg.
I'm talking about like even another team, like jiu-jitsu. It's not too often that it happens, but it's not too often where you see a real asshole on the mat. All right?
no, don't be
it's a-
lied.
yeah,
No, jiu-jitsu has I've
Yeah,
experienced
okay.
a lot more of an asshole
Really?
feel
Okay.
in the jiu-jitsu gym
When you get
I was
the
coming up in
ego.
the belts, right? From people just being upset of my intensity.
Well, again, because you were a threat because you were a wrestler.
Yeah, but
For jiu-jitsu back in the day, even now, doesn't you look at he was a wrestler. He came in off the first time he rolled. I just saw how he was moving. I'm like, you wrestled? He said, yeah. Okay, let's roll. And I knew right away. people are very intimidated by wrestlers because you know there's that they know they're going to get probably taken down more often. Where jiu-jitsu, right? It's a lot of pulling guard, right? So people are afraid of wrestlers, especially if we know that somebody's been at a higher level. So,
but just that approach was kind of weird to me because in wrestling, I'm gonna push you until I break you physically. You know what I mean? But not actually break you. Like I want to gas you out because that's what wrestling about. Like, put the weight on you, want to make you throw up.
You want to pin them.
Yeah, you know. And so that was the drive. But then like when I would see like these guys all of a sudden throw in this guillotine or this Kimura and crank, and I'm like, bro, you know you can break that dude's arm. Like he doesn't. It's not that your technique's all that great. It's that idiot don't know how to defend what you're doing. He's going the wrong way, you know. And that was the part where I've saw a lot in jiu-jitsu then. Now I don't travel to much gym, so I can't contest to that. I just know that the people that have come in through my gym visiting, because I'm a man.
In 3 years, those people are rare, and I've hopped around and gone to a lot of open mats.
Yes,
and even in competition where I've lost, like I could tell that the dude could have been more.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that change, that this more loving environment, or at least a little bit more cohesive environment, is because jiu-jitsu changed the people, or because now we got different people in jiu-jitsu?
I think it's
think about that. All right.
I don't have enough sample size like you do. Like you've been around to see like a variety of it. I've only experienced what I've experienced, and in my 3 years, and again, I'm observant. Like I try and understand, and I also this is my hobby. Like I do this podcast, so like I get to talk. I've talked to almost 100 coaches, if you think about it, or people that
93.
do this all the time.
You got 93,
yeah. And I started late. So more like in the 70s. Yeah.
70s? Okay.
No, I'm just saying you're about to get on your 100, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, but I've only been here for like a.
He hasn't been there from the beginning.
So yeah, and not doing it's just because we never met. As soon as we met, he brought me on. But anyways, yeah, it was love at first sight. And no, but what I'm saying is like what I've noticed is that this is a business. Like I have an argument with this guy all the time about there's gonna be jazzercise jiu-jitsu. You just wait.
Yes.
The year 2040,
like a watered down version of jiu-jitsu.
Not even water. It's almost like how what's that? Zumba? Like how Zumba is to Muay Thai. There's gonna be something like that to jiu-jitsu where people are like, "Oh,
don't
dude,
touch each other."
No. It's exactly. Yeah, you don't touch each other at all. Like, come on, let's shrimp, and then they're. And they're playing like some acai shit in the background.
Like, I love kickboxing. I love jiu-jitsu.
That's a little extreme. That's a little extreme.
But what I'm saying is like you could get your ass whooped in a warm-up. Like for real, like a hard warm up.
I believe that.
It's like a hit. Like okay, sprawl, burpees.
True.
You know,
but the nature of jiu-jitsu is contact.
If you have to touch
100%.
The reason
why I'm not on board with
the
this.
reason jiu-jitsu.
I'm not on board with this either. But
the reason jiu-jitsu or grappling in general, right? It's the supreme martial art, right? Is because we're the only sport that can spar every day.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the only one it's forever evolving. For every move. Every level, there's another level. Right? For every move, there's a counter. For every counter, there's a counter and a counter and a counter. There's
Think
a new
about
move
how many
every day.
old people they're going to be doing jiu-jitsu.
How many times you go on Instagram and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. Oh, that's interesting. Like I'm sure that you learn new moves. Mm-hmm. You have to learn.
Yeah,
you have to.
There's
right?
many I forgot.
That's ones you forgot. Ones that you don't do from the beginning. But we all learned it. Like like even when you learn a move and then you go maybe watch on YouTube, you're like, wow, that guy put his leg there. Oh, it turns it into that. Oh, and then there's an omoplata. I didn't even realize that combination was there. That flow for that move was there. That's for me. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. It's like there's never going to become a time you're going to go, all right, I'm not going to the gym today, hon. I've learned all the jiu-jitsu. My students have learned all the jiu-jitsu. It's done. We're closing because I have nothing else to teach. That's an impossible. It's never going to happen. Nobody's ever said no. You train jiu-jitsu? No, I don't train anymore because I know all the jiu-jitsu. I don't have to. I know everything. It just doesn't exist.
Look, so I had the pleasure of having the Modofo camp at my gym, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. That's the camp where the gentleman who runs ADCC right now, Mo, he put in all the champions from 2019, or at least all of them that he can get into there. So we had Kanan in there, we had the Rotolo brothers in there, we had Mike Perez, we had JT Torres.
Did you have the Rotolo brothers?
Yeah. Steve Mako was there as a wrestling coach. Henry Cejudo, Gordon Ryan.
Oh, wow.
Man, like it was like creme de la creme. Yeah, it was creme de la creme, right? Yeah. And that's when I learned to understand Gordon, right? In the sense of that part you said right there, the ever evolving, right? I guess it's to each person's opinion, right? I guess it's up to you.
It's
right?
your
Like,
perception.
Yeah, it's your perception,
Yeah.
correct? But they ran and understood so much of just the general mechanics that nothing was a mystery. Like they saw something and maybe never saw it before, but immediately got it and
They
let me
knew
go
the
work
route.
it, right? So I asked him. I said, "Man, how does Donahue get you guys to like come to practice?" And he told me straight out, "What do you mean?" I was like, "That gets to practice." He's like, "That ain't his job. That ain't his job. He comes in, he tells us what to do, and then we get it done." It's like, "Oh, but then like, how about all the breakdowns?" Like, he's like, "My dude, like all the breakdown comes after we already figured it out." It's like, that's not how coach, he comes in, he says he's going to do it, and nobody questions or says nothing. So at first I thought it was just like, you're a hype man for Mr. Donahue, you know? But then I watch him in class, and we're talking about this is 1 week, 2 sessions a day, 2 hours each session, a morning session.
It's
and
a
an
big
evening
sample
session.
size.
Right. And I'm watching. Can you believe that this motherfucker, Gordon Ryan himself, like never had a talk back to nobody about no technique. Whatever he was told to do, he did. Never had a talk back. Do
You mean like he never had to say, "Hey, what do I do? What do you want? Like put my leg here?" Like you mean like that? Or
No, he means
Let's get
it's like,
further.
why would you do it that way when you could do it this way like
Never.
that?
okay.
Never.
You know how
ever.
some people kind of like they're pretending like they're asking a question, but they're really just talking about how they normally do the move.
Yeah.
Never.
Like
I
that
see what you
shit.
mean.
Never.
He just went and did it how he was taught because
Yeah.
he learned a new way to
Yes,
do
sir.
it. Then
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yeah.
dope as
Okay.
fuck.
Never.
Okay.
Do you understand? And we're talking about like I had some of my blue belt wrestlers
The
there,
best.
but they were wrestlers, and I go and I'm like, "Yo, go talk," and they talk to him, and he would do it. Never, bro. Like the whole 5 days.
Oh, but I do it this way. That never happened.
Never, and it make matters even more phenomenal to me, right? And I'm talking about phenomenal. Like this is going around. He can say, "Fuck all you guys. I'm gonna do what I want."
Yeah.
He really could have. Like the camp really got pushed.
You probably couldn't even stop him if you wanted to.
Yeah.
To be
Yo,
honest.
when it came down to like doing the technique and sparring, he like, I want to go with you. He picked Steve Mako, Kyle Sermonera. Like we talking about like guys that were like on world teams.
Yeah.
And he only wrestled. Never let his fear or concern, if he had any, get in the way of him. I'm a wrestle. And he wrestled. He banged. He sparred every day.
I hear he's a good wrestler.
Never waved from him.
How long ago was this? When was this camp?
Right before COVID. Like right
Oh,
when
yeah.
they shut us
Oh,
down,
yeah.
that January.
Okay.
And like, so like getting to the point where like, yeah, it's ever evolving, but just like his coach kind of changed the world with like the whole viewing of the leg locks, it's one of those like, nah, man, the mechanics have always been there. You just chose not to see it. Your mind is not ever evolving. Your mind needs to be ever evolving. It's not the technique. It's your mind that should be. And like
He absorbed everything, huh?
everything.
Everything.
We're going to get into some
That's
listener
so smart.
questions, but while we're talking about Gordon,
Yes.
who do you got this weekend?
Yeah, he should win. But I can't hold it against. This is God. Like, I mean, he's been around for a while. I don't know.
It's very seasoned.
They look.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. You know, he's
They're both looking very fit right now.
he's a gamer. Yes, he's a gamer. Like he's all about the rules.
Gordon's
You know what I mean?
admitted
Like,
that
yeah.
Gordon's admitted that Galval possesses multiple ADCC visits, has been on the competitive circuit since early 2000s.
Yes.
He was 17 years old, professional, black belt level for that long, and you don't dismiss that.
No.
He's
Yeah.
like said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
He's a threat.
but
He's a threat,
as equally
even
as threatening as what I just said is a man who has the humility to understand that is a factor, and probably a decision-making capability that he has during that. He's aware enough to
though.
know.
How do you think it goes?
How do I think it goes?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a feeling out process, especially under ADCC rules. And then obviously go a million ways, but like if Gordon ends up on bottom, it'll probably stay that way. If Galval ends up on bottom,
There'll be a lot of scrambling.
they could
Yeah,
be-
he
it
may
could
not
be-
get back up.
He may not get back
So
up.
I got to
it's
roll
like-
with all of them, right? That was like the thing about the camp. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys think they're strong. They're not that strong. Me being a wrestler on my 11, lifting, not that strong. And I'm going to tell you right now, Gordon's a pretty strong dude.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen any pictures of him just in the last couple of days?
Looks like a
yeah,
lobster.
before that too. Like, you know, when I rode with him. And another impressively strong guy was JT Torres.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tornado.
Yeah, he's impressively strong.
Yeah.
Like strong and dense. Like, you know, like you like wow.
There's
like,
a difference.
So strong. Yeah.
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 So we could talk about ADCC. I know, but this is actually going to air after that. So a lot of what we say is going to get heard 2 weeks from now.
Congratulations, Gordon Rice.
Yeah. But look, we got a couple of listener questions, so we're gonna hit these and then we'll get into our drill down. So this is John Melendez. It's like John Melendez on Instagram. He said, coming from a wrestling background, how was the transition into jiu-jitsu? Does it help or make things tougher to learn techniques? Again, coming from that wrestling background.
Okay, one thing, and luckily you guys wrestle, so you may, hopefully you do see it like this. For you coaches out there who have wrestlers in your room, they're the most open-minded person on the planet because they're willing to do whatever it takes to get the win. So if you approach them without putting them at their weakest end, like learn their strongest attributes, right? As a wrestler, you know they don't want to be on their back, so already work on their passing prior to putting on their back. Like don't purposely try to prove how much better jiu-jitsu is. They're in jiu-jitsu, so they already made that choice. Work on those attributes from wrestling to enhance their jiu-jitsu. Once they get comfortable, they'll come out. So yes, it is extremely easy for a jiu-jitsu guy to get good a wrestler to get good in jiu-jitsu because our mindset is we just want to be the best. But it is extremely hard because jiu-jitsu coaches don't approach the proper way to coach them. So it's
smart.
It's a jiu-jitsu coach that's never wrestled is going to be hard to help a wrestler with that transition,
which is most.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like that's
it's hard for them to understand how strong a 125 pounder can be. So they'll look at a 125 pounder and they'll look at a 180 pounder, and they'll tell a 180 pounder, stop using your size, right? But that 125 pounder as a wrestler, I promise you, he's crunching that dude like our gas tanks. So it's a yes and a no. I think it's a tricky one for me.
I think and again, I only trained. I wrestled and I was pretty bad at it for a couple of years. But I was at the practices. I know what those practices are like. I know about running the stairs. Wrestlers, there is, like we talked about, HIIT work. There's a HIIT workout basically in every wrestling session. You ran.
That's how you dry the mats.
Man, did we run for like at least 15 minutes, a half hour, and that wasn't a lot.
Mats, baby.
Or up and down stairs, right? Running, yes. But you're running up and down stairs, second floor, back down. So bro, I do agree. It's I can see how it would be problematic for somebody who's not a wrestling coach to be able to kind of say, I know what you have. Like somebody with experience like you would be able to say, I did it. This is the roadmap. I already have the roadmap. Just follow my roadmap. Versus somebody who's just a black belt and has learned some wrestling to then really take the best parts of that wrestler and turn him into a jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Yes.
That's difficult.
Enhancer tools. No, I was going to go down memory lane. You ever done so many, hands behind your back spins, chest pins on somebody that both of your t-shirts,
drills, yes.
that both of your t-shirts come into one and like your back skin starts coming off.
Yeah. And
so many of those. Yeah, dude, there's like some soul breaking stuff. How many times?
Second question from John. Attention spans on kids are so low. How do we get these kids working out and conditioned without losing their attention? What's your method behind getting your kids in line and really being able to learn?
Doing it with them.
Yeah.
Do it with them, man. I've seen amazing improvement. I'll give you an example. Majority of my daughter's jiu-jitsu comes from my wife.
Mm-hmm.
My wife don't know nothing of jiu-jitsu. She knows nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, it was her practicing, having my daughter do it in the tub.
Yeah. You're coaching?
Yeah,
you're coaching your wife?
Like, I'm doing a burpee. Hey, do you know the burpee is just like the sprawl from wrestling? She's like, oh, look, I'm doing a lunge. Oh, wait, I'm going to bring my knee to the ground. Oh, that's a shot. And my wife is the one who told my daughter, do it with them. That's the best thing I tell you. You're going to get it. But do it with them, but don't be their coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't coach my daughter. I hired a coach to coach her class.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't coach her.
Is that your message to the parents as well? Like, let me do my job and you can stay.
Yeah. I mean, in my room, my parents know what's up, but I'm saying it to the ones who are coaches. I really believe like you'll have your time with your kid. Yeah. Don't make that time from the moment you put them on a mat all the way.
You're going to probably push them out of jiu-jitsu too, right? I've heard of instances, and I know one personally.
I almost did it to my daughter. Yeah.
When a parent starts to coach the kid's just like, ugh.
It gets
they lose interest.
Yeah.
Be the dad, be the mom, be the dad. Don't even Ray. I think Ray says it. He's like, because now we have
we talk about
we have a friend.
We talked about it the other day.
Yeah, he got his wife into jiu-jitsu, and she went to Worlds. She's a blue belt.
Yeah,
but I asked him. I said, "Do you guys roll? Do you try to coach like you?" And he's just like, I believe he's just like, no. he does talk to her like at the gym, but I don't think that he's a little bit more. And I don't see him coaching his kids a lot. I don't see him coaching his kids at all. It's like, let the coach do the thing. And I do know of an instance at our own gym where a father joined and he was like getting so into jiu-jitsu and tried to connect with his son. His son quit. And he found out later the kid told a friend whose father or a friend who did jiu-jitsu still at the school. He told him, he was just like, it was my thing. And now my dad kind of took my thing and he kind of pushed him out. So he just handled it the wrong way. He just got all excited about it and wanted to be. Plus, the guy was a monster. He was like almost like 6'7". So it was like he's
my daughter's 6, so I got a long way to go. You know, I don't know if my advice is suiting 100%, but
learning every year. Bro.
Yeah, from what I know, 25 years of working with kids is parents. They'll come to you if you gotta force it. Like they'll come to you, and your time may not. Like my time, it may not be now to be her coach. Maybe I'll be her coach when she's a teenager. You know what I mean? But like find currently now what makes them happy without trying to satisfy your own ego. Like your own ego may come later. Like, but right now it's not the time.
Yeah, listen, don't try to coach your kid, especially if you don't do jiu-jitsu.
And it's different. My son is different than my daughter.
Don't try to coach them. Not in the gym and probably not at home either.
Yeah.
Encourage them to maybe exercise or to practice, but don't coach. There's a difference. Encouraging them to do something and coaching them are two different things.
It was a Gracie. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, just like typical white belt. I'm going to scour all of YouTube for anything jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know? And I just heard like, hey, you know, guys, if you're a parent, only ask your kids 2 questions about jiu-jitsu. Did you learn something? Did you have fun? And that is it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's probably
it, bro.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Dude.
And dude, that changed me, bro. And now sometimes I'll be just laying on the floor, just stretching or doing like rolls, you know, like just whatever, like when I'm whatever. And my daughter will go to like do a Torriano pass just as a joke and then just walk away. I don't
try to keep her there.
But exactly.
Yeah,
sometimes, you know, I let her, you know, I put her in a triangle right quick.
Kind of situation. You let them. It goes back to the Gracies used to say, like Henner and Hedon, they've said their father played jiu-jitsu with them before they ever went to the gym.
Yes.
They played at home. It was a game. It was fun, and then when they went to the gym, it was like they're playing what they do with daddy at home.
That's how it is for me now. I have fun at the gym, bro. I'm a paying member. I'm just I go there and I think that shit's fucking like a candy store.
So we have another question now. This is a little bit odd, and I think we're going to pick it apart a little bit because I'm not sure. Let me read it and then we'll discuss. So, will American style of jiu-jitsu (parentheses more wrestling) ever surpass Brazilian jiu-jitsu? Or do you believe it has already happened? Do you get that question?
Yes.
I think we could pick it apart a little bit, but do you have an answer?
Okay.
So would the American style of jiu-jitsu, meaning it has more wrestling in it, ever surpass Brazilian jiu-jitsu? That's part one.
You know, I mean, I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit from all my American friends, but I'd like stop calling it American jiu-jitsu. Sorry to say, jiu-jitsu, it's gone through its waves. Like when I first got into it, it was a heavily takedown game. You know what I mean? To me, it's the coaching. Like people are more aware now how pivotal a takedown can be in that last shot, and people are very aware of how that heel hook can knock out any guy of any size. So the coaching aspect have gotten extraordinarily better. Like it is what it is. That like I see more takedown game, and I see more of the technique of it, right? But like I said, we're still climbing on the tactical part, like the approach, the timing, what to do, you know, like in wrestling.
And also the defensive game going, like you get a shot on, now it's a jiu-jitsu type sprawl that's always existed with a pass from there on how to attack turtles and stuff like that.
I think I don't know, like I don't want to call it American jiu-jitsu because I feel like it's a disrespectful thing because it's not, I don't know.
I don't like to call it, I've come to a place where I don't like calling it American jiu-jitsu. I don't even call it Brazilian jiu-jitsu anymore. I just call it jiu-jitsu. Somebody asks me jiu-jitsu. My screen name says BJJ or Uncle Milty BJJ right online because that's what I put when I started. I was training Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but I don't believe it anymore. There was an awesome, and I think I shared it. There's an awesome video that I think she's a blue belt. This young girl made this video. She's probably like late teens, maybe even in her early 20s, and there were like 2 people arguing about Brazilian and American jiu-jitsu.
Oh, is it that Asian girl?
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, she's good.
And then like it's her playing every part, but there's 2 people arguing. It's her and her alter ego arguing about American and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And then they're arguing about the name, the American. And then like it cuts to like an Irish, she's an Irish, it says like Irish practitioner going like this, and Canadian jiu-jitsu practitioner, Australian jiu-jitsu. And it's just making fun of the fact like, couldn't the whole world do that? Right? You know, couldn't Craig Jones have
Australian
said, no, this is Australian jiu-jitsu. This is an American. Right? Every country could do that and claim like they put their stamp on it. I realize that after Brazil, right? Like we've had the United States, Americans have had probably the biggest influence as a country on jiu-jitsu.
Well, that's the Gracie's fault, but
you
whatever.
You can't then, you know, there's an evolution to jiu-jitsu, and putting Eli Knight, he has a great story. He's like, I've never been to Brazil. He trains under Horace Gracie. Yes. He's got the one with the blue. He trains the blue tip. He's like, I've never been to Brazil, and I don't think putting a geographic modifier on the name gives it anything from that region or that country or that,
anything
or that
special,
world.
Yeah.
It was, you know, judo to jiu-jitsu, right? And then Brazil. Okay, so you bring it here, and then you say, well, I'm from Brazil, and I do jiu-jitsu, so it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? So that maybe that kind of sticks that way. Mm-hmm. It's like going to China and saying, like, I want some Chinese food. Yeah. Like, no, it's food there, right? It's not Chinese food. When you go to Brazil, it's not Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but it's jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. So I agree with him in that, like putting the geographic modifier or saying that it's from a country, it doesn't make any sense. It's still jiu-jitsu.
Yes. Hey, man, in America, in the middle of Kentucky, and IHOP, you go order a Belgian waffle. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit's called a Belgian waffle everywhere you go. Yeah. Because it originated in Belgium or whatever the history of it is. It's called a Belgian waffle.
I'm good with it still being called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's like if it's okay for a waffle, just let the martial art.
I don't think because you've added something to it that you get to call it.
Of course.
Your country.
I could do something.
So let's spin on that. So that means they should stop having these schools with the name and then Jiu-Jitsu, right? For instance,
what do you mean, like a person's name jiu-jitsu?
Like, dudes, you're like, Michael's jiu-jitsu. Or like, I'm like, what's going on? Like,
instead of a name, instead of like Unity or something like that. Like you're okay with Unity, but you're not okay with like Perez jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, because what did you do so special?
This is my jiu-jitsu.
I don't think that there's an intention. But
that's how I feel.
I don't know that it's the same intent. I get what you're saying though. I do. And I agree with it to a point. I don't think that it's typically the intention of that person going, no, this is my, like, this is what.
But that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
There's definitely a couple.
This is Perez
There's definitely
jiu-jitsu.
a couple that are totally like, no, this is Perez jiu-jitsu. Bro.
But, you know, at the same time, like, but look.
Sorry, Perez jiu-jitsu. If you
so I agree with you guys. But.
Unless you're an asshole.
Look at what we say. Like, I have this. I was talking to my wife about this the other day. And I said, I believe this. This, for me, my jiu-jitsu journey. I've trained at 2 gyms, so I pretty much trained under just 2 coaches, Felipe most of the time. I'm a brown belt in Felipe's jiu-jitsu. Not Felipe jiu-jitsu, but under Felipe. I'm a black belt in our jiu-jitsu that I learn every day.
At that school, yeah.
When I go to Drew's gym and they're freaking grabbing legs all over the place, I am not a brown belt in his jiu-jitsu. I think that's okay to say. That diminishes none of the 9 years that I've put into jiu-jitsu. Yeah. The 5 days a week, 6 days a week I did in the beginning. The competitions that I did good in and the ones I flopped, that takes nothing away from all of that. But I certainly am not, if I go to a gym and I'm practicing their style, I'm probably not going to be as good at it if they say, okay, we're doing this today, we're training this, or we're drilling this.
Sometimes
I may look kind of crappy. Now, yes, we roll. Now, it might be a little different because we get to impose, you know, but I was explaining that to say, I know what Felipe's taught me, but when I go to another gym and they show me something completely different, I'm like, I look like a white belt trying to get this move down, and I'm okay with that. But that's the part of jiu-jitsu that I love, is figuring it out. Like, oh, shit, now I'm going to take that back. I'm going to look on YouTube. I'm going to find out who's the best guy at it. I'm going to find, and then I'm going to learn it, and now it's part of my repertoire. But
so not offended with Perez jiu-jitsu.
I'm not, well, yeah, not so, like, it doesn't offend,
I'm not offended.
me.
I'm just saying that,
but there's a conversation to be had about the whole, like again, trying to be divisive and saying
having
like,
underscore BJJ in your Instagram handle.
I can't remember his name. It was a UFC fighter that I remember. Jake Shields. Jake Shields, when he came out, when they brought him out to the, you know, when they say you're a style, it always said American Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm like, I wonder, is that more of the combat style? I didn't know what he meant by American Jiu-Jitsu.
He was
but
trolling.
He's the first one that I ever saw where, because you get to say, right, there's like been some funny ones that they say like their
John
style
Jones.
of Jiu-Jitsu.
Doesn't John or one of the guy, I forget who it was. He's still like in the circuit now. It just says like street fighting. Like
There's one, I think
Kimbo
John
Slice,
Jones
right?
would be
Didn't
like,
Kimbo Slice have like street fighting?
there was one that
Mhm.
kind of said like, it's like the way, it was something Jiu-Jitsu about like, hey, I learned.
Somebody's Bushido.
Yes.
Right? Somebody's like Bushido. Somebody's
Correct.
like, oh, you're a samurai, dude.
But that was the
Like,
first time I saw American Jiu-Jitsu, and I didn't get it. And then I remember now. Then it was like, okay, this is kind of where it came from. He's the first one that I saw.
Yeah,
as
I think he was
and you're talking
trolling,
about
bro.
years ago, it said American Jiu-Jitsu. I just don't think that there's anybody that does Jiu-Jitsu in this country that puts so much into it and changed it so much that they can say,
Yeah.
this is my style of Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, even a Gordon Ryan could. I mean, he's at, or Danaher, let's say, is at the top of he could call it like Danaher Jiu-Jitsu, and people might be like,
But there's only like the
Yeah,
Danaher.
'cause
But
he
you
made
know,
a change, 'cause
maybe
he made a
he's
change.
changed it so much,
Exactly.
but he there's no ego there like that. He would never do that, right? But as a
I think
Not
I
yet.
think it's earnable. I think you could earn the right. Like I think like if
you got to
some
really
dude,
change the Jiu-Jitsu.
I would say
How many times do
Marcelo
we see-
Garcia definitely has earned the right to have Marcelo Garcia.
Okay,
What's the name of his gym?
It
It's
would
literally
otherwise
Marcelo Garcia,
it would
isn't it?
otherwise be called knighthood.
Knighthood.
You have
You get
When
knighted.
you are knighted, then your
Yeah.
name can be applied as a reference to
Yeah.
a level of skill or a perspective, or you know what I
but
mean?
it's still it's not an
I
amazing.
think- I think-
like, well, that's.
I
only
think
gonna
when you
happen, like,
beat
in
a
the
guy,
UK.
when you beat a guy that outweighs you by 80 pounds in an ADCC finals that wore you like a book bag and then put all his weight on you, and then you still came out on top at the highest level at the time. That
Let's
dude
do
can
this.
name it whatever he wants.
Let's get into our next segment. Oh, the drill down.
Because I have
We
to
did-
pee. I really
Oh,
have
okay.
to, like,
All right.
so-
Take a
like,
quick break.
oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, Dale.
yeah, so
We got like another-
When you're done peeing, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pee.
We got like
Not
another
together,
10,
though.
15 minutes.
And not together. You go on your own.
Yeah. No, you don't want to go hold it for him?
No crossing streams.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, You'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Yeah.
So, we're on.
Hey,
All right, we're back from our pee break. Thank you for holding it for me, Miguel.
Yep. It's not going to shake
back,
itself. ladies and gentlemen.
We're back with the drill down.
The drill down.
So, okay, we have, it's usually about, depending on how this flows, about 6 or 7 questions that we ask every guest, different versions of the questions, but you can elaborate,
Okay.
So we're going to just we'll go down. So, preference, gi or no gi?
Gi.
Okay. Take down or pull guard?
Take down.
I love this new one. This is one of my favorite now. Music during rolling, yes or no?
Oh man, in wrestling, I heard the shit. I'm tired of the Rocky theme song. I want no
you
music.
turn on the radio, no music while you guys roll.
I'm not hearing nothing.
No?
Like, they put it on, but I don't hear it.
Okay, but if somebody puts it on, you let them put it on, but you don't put it on.
Yeah, I don't.
So you're not.
I was just going to ask you.
I just want it clean though. I don't want none of that crazy. Play something good. That's it.
Yeah,
like, but
it's hard these days.
I want to. They're so eclectic. That's what I was going to ask. I was just like, douche. I mean, you ever seen the meme with jiu-jitsu? It's like uniting everybody. It's like white dude with dreads, like pop, stoner.
It's funny because like some people like to hear like rock, and I like I'm more like I like to hear like 90s hip hop.
Yes,
like I want to listen to like electrical.
I'm going through a new Dre phase right now, like listening to some of the old Dre stuff. I listened to a whole bunch of Dre stuff on the way down.
Bunch of R. Kelly.
But like I think it's fun. I'd listen to anything. I've got the most eclectic taste in music. I listen to country now. I listen to everything, just good music. And when it comes on in the gym, I think it's funny. But sometimes like something will come on and make Felipe a little uncomfortable. Like, or maybe there's a kids class or there's kids and then that's like cursing. Or if it's like a lovey-dovey song, he's not a mushy guy kind of guy.
He's so professional.
Yeah, so he'll be like, "Cut, go change it," But I like everything, and then I like if I hear something come, I'll sing it too, like while I'm doing like just
for sure.
I'm a talker during rolling. Do you talk during rolling? Do you talk to your rolling partner?
Like I already told you what I told them.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I remember this position last night.
See, I like the joking around. I like to play with it a little. I absolutely like to have fun. Dude, so I talk and I'll joke, and even if I'm getting smashed, I'll be like, "Oh, jeez, what are you gonna kill me?" Like, I'll really, it's mostly for me, but there's a little part of me that, because I know it throws them off mentally. He's talking. What the fuck is he talking?
I censor when I sing. A J. Cole song came on the other day while we were rolling, and it's like I love that song, so like I know every single word and like the N words in it, and it's like people don't know I grew up in Miami, whatever. But I don't even say it casually, but I'm just saying like it's part of the song. But so like I'm rolling and I'm just singing it. And,
I say it real loud too.
Nah, bro. And I was just like, I'm not gonna say it, and then it just keeps. I'll even censor.
I say I love back in my club days before like you had to say don't say the N word.
Yeah.
Before that, like I'd be in a club with my white friends or my roommate or just friend, and it'd be like some song would come on, and I'd just be like, look at the white guy, wait for him to see if he's going to sing the N-word,
Hell yeah.
So he's going to sing it. Like,
that's great.
Really? You think you got to pass?
Nope.
But now it's a different world now. That was many moons ago.
Many moons.
All right. Next question. Are you a fan of MMA and BJJ? Are you watching events?
Consumer.
Are you watching the UFC? Are you watching WNOs? Are you watching Fight to Win?
Are you flying to ADCC tomorrow?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. All right. Yes, I'm a fan of MMA. Big fan, much bigger than people would know. When I was in college, I actually would stop off at the Militich camp when it was,
Pat Militich?
And I roll out there. Yeah, I had a teammate, Joey Vitopo, who actually got into the UFC through their camp. So I'm a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the whole organization or deal. I just don't feel like don't feel like they're paying them right. And I'm not gonna spend my money on them.
Yeah,
both sides.
Don't worry, I buy enough to make up for for the ones you don't buy.
Yeah, and then jiu-jitsu, I do watch. But I'm a bigger fan of the new generation. Like we talking about like Mika, Rotolo, William Tackett and his brother. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I like the action. They pushing the action. So
and
I watch it for
creative.
them. You can't catch me watching old jits. And let Marcelo Garcia jits, he was real active, stand up and bottom and
Kron Gracie.
No matter your size too.
Yeah.
He was
super fan.
Yeah. But Kron was still, he ain't new, but like
he was like young. He was like in that weird, like he was very young, but he was like mentally and at a game that he was at par, but he had like a different mentality. Like he's Hickson's son, so it's like he was like Hickson, extremely aggressive.
So you just answered our next question, which is like your favorite competitors to watch. But so we'll transition into what is your ultimate goal with your mixed martial arts studio? What is the legacy? What do you want to leave behind?
Okay, so a lot of people who probably listen to this radio are wondering like what happened to Black House MMA. So previously my gym that I was running for several years, started off as a coach, then management, and then kind of became a little part owner of it. His property got bought out back in COVID, but the lease kept getting pushed out because COVID happened. So we already knew the scenario was going to happen. And we already knew the rent was going to be priced on the beach. So we went ahead and we created Miami Martial Arts, right? In the sense where we wanted to do a community program. We want the headquarters. But so
you're still Black House?
Yeah. Our competitors are still Black House.
Okay.
Our competitors are still Black House.
Okay.
But
that's what it says on the IBJJF card.
Yeah, but we run our community program as Miami Martial Arts. It's a little more wholesome, a little more easier to pull, and we want to make a wide variety. It took me a while to convince the head guys to trust this process where like whatever the community needs in terms of martial arts, like that's where we want to be. We want the whole presence of martial arts to be it.
So you mean jiu-jitsu, stand-up, wrestling? Is that what you mean?
Everything.
You're teaching everything?
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Currently at the moment, it blew up so big for us like that right now it's only jiu-jitsu, but I do want it to be taekwondo. I do want it to be tai chi. I believe all of these had an influence in what we have today. And why not? Like if we're talking about like jiu-jitsu's essence and making it a person, like all martial arts did, like jiu-jitsu is the newest one on the scene. Like why would you shut down the possibilities of what another guy like?
John Wei is doing it with kung fu, jiu-jitsu, stand-up.
A lot of different practices.
I'm dying to get over there to do some. I think that kung fu is valuable. The hand fighting in kung fu is I've never done it, but when I watch it, I'm like, I could see that redirection of hands when you're standing. If you're standing with somebody who's not,
hand fighting,
a wrestler, right? The hand, and even when you're on the ground, just the movement of somebody's hands, the way we like take a back or maybe like do an arm drag. Yeah. I believe that there's an application there that maybe we're kind of missing. And he even mentioned, he's like, maybe I'm going to do. We talked about it. He's been on twice or three times, and he mentioned, he's like, maybe I'm going to do like a class that we talk about that where we do that. I definitely want to get down there, but I'm a big believer in that. I'm like, I do like the cross. Jiu-jitsu, we're very bougie when it comes to like talking about karate and taekwondo. We want to like shit on it. They want to shit on it.
Yes.
But I think they're all valuable, especially for kids. Anything that teaches them martial arts and gives them discipline is great. And I believe that all those martial arts is going to wind up leading them to jiu-jitsu because this is the part that nobody does. When they realize, what hole do I have to fill? It's the ground game, and they're going to get there eventually if they don't. Correct. If it's not their first martial art.
Correct, man. I want to. I'm sorry. Like when I became a gym owner and I started running a business, I started understanding this. Like, you got McDojos, right?
Right.
It's kind of insulting, right? Because you don't even know that gym. Like you don't know the changes that gym could be possibly make. I'm not saying that there isn't, right? But I truly believe, like, I'll give you an example, right? Like some of the top gyms right now, right? They bought their athletes. To me, they're McDojo. You didn't train those guys.
They're like the Yankees.
You bought them at Brown Belt.
Anybody in particular you think
you didn't train? Oh, man, I mean, come on, bro. FS is the newest one on the market, right? I mean, let's that's how teams have always been.
They acquire gyms. They acquire gyms. You're right.
That's the business. I'm not stating that, right? But like, if you're saying that a gentleman or an art is a McDojo, why? Because jiu-jitsu is better. I mean, okay, it is what it is. So then, if you didn't really coach the people you have or create the status that you created, like from
I'll say it, it's not me throwing stones really, but Atos has been accused of that, right? Not accused of, but it's like you bring in fighters that are already established and bring them on your umbrella. It's hard. You can't really take credit for it if they were already a name, a champion, a world champion.
It's more prevalent now.
Or on a winning streak or whatever. If you didn't raise them, The Rotolos is a different story, right? They started at Atos, right? They came up as kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's different. So is that what you're kind of getting at?
And I'm saying, like, I have nothing wrong with that. I'm saying that's business. Like, that's a sport. Like, colleges do it, high schools do it. I got recruited in my high school. I get that. I'm just saying
those are growing pains.
When you throw the connotation out there to shit on another business, right?
Yeah.
That actually is making a difference, right? Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're saying and you're making these claims, right? That, like, it's all for the love, it's confidence, make a family, right? And there's another thing that's doing the same. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, look, it's
Like,
mixed martial arts. Yeah, mixed martial arts.
As long as you're not giving
amazing.
people, as long as the real like bad ones, like as long as you're not giving people a false sense of security,
Exactly.
like that Dust guy in Detroit. Like,
You don't think that's comical? I mean,
I think I don't know.
yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
know.
for the
I know.
person who doesn't know, or would assume it's
Yeah,
real, I
yeah,
guess. Let's
yeah.
say that. So I can see
We've
the
talked
danger.
about him
Yeah.
before.
I
So
I can
yeah.
see the dangers in that, you know?
I'm a believer. Again, I've said this on
But
multiple
I agree with
podcasts.
you.
I'm a
Yeah.
believer in the new art is mixed martial arts. I know that mixed martial arts is there. That's the new art, and people who realize that now and give them every fighter. There's not very many fighters in the UFC that just have stand up. You can't have you have to have stand up. You have to have wrestling. You have to have jiu-jitsu. You have to have takedown defense.
They have it at different
You know,
levels, but they have it
yeah.
all.
But you have right now the kids that are coming up who do want to fight or are on that path, you're going to a gym or you go to multiple gyms where I go, my boxing is here, my wrestling is here, my jiu-jitsu is here. So if somebody brings all those things together, it's a smart business move because it is the future. It may not feel like it, and jiu-jitsu, not hobbyist, jiu-jitsu, like that was not originalist, but like people that just want to keep jiu-jitsu.
Oh, purist.
Purist.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu purists, they're going to fight you at every corner on
It's
that.
necessary, I
But
think.
it's from a business
They're
aspect.
relics.
And for those of us who do watch MMA, we realize like that's like the smartest thing that you can do.
Yes.
It's how come it's not being done more? Isn't it stupid if you're not doing it and
Correct.
giving your students every possible thing? I do like that you do even in the Tai Chi because now you get going after typically probably older people as well, right? Did you say Tai Chi in before?
I said Tai Chi,
So, okay.
Tai Chi. But what I was getting at is like, so like the whole McDojo stuff, right? Like, and why I'm bringing this is because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible for every child and parent around.
Yeah.
Because like if you
know that struggle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I knew what I couldn't make it to.
Yeah.
Like for real, let's be honest. If I would have did jiu-jitsu at a young age, for the time that I started wrestling, not having no wrestling coach in high school, so now winning my world titles, I promise you I would have been best on the planet in jiu-jitsu. That's the confidence I have because if I would have had it to experience, you get me?
Yeah.
So
Like the kid in Iowa State that grew up like, I wish I had wrestling when I was like, what parents in those countries, they put them in at 3 years old.
Let's make jiu-jitsu reachable for more people. Like why? Like it's not, it's expensive. Gi.
Yeah.
The tournament. It's expensive.
Those tournaments, man, they kill me.
Which I got a few plans with Drew that we're trying to do like these tournaments, right? We're like, I'm sorry, like any tournament promoter out there or owner, I apologize. I'm not trying to shut nothing down, but like you are charging kind of ridiculous prices for one match, 1 and 2, and
when
like,
your bracket might not even be filled up all the way.
yeah, you know, it's
might
kind
not
of
even
killing.
have
So
2
me and Drew
matches.
trying to come up with some stuff where like in wrestling you have dual meets, right? Why can't we have dual meets amongst teams? Why can't, you know what I mean? Charge a few dollars, not make no profit on it, but just get the kids some matches, 4 or 5 matches, 2 minutes a time. Let every school host it, let them pay the rest, let them take care of the food, and then on to the next one. Like, why can't we do that? Like, we can.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like why you profiting so much off of 5 and 7-year-old kids who their parents probably don't got nothing, could use that money for something
For
else?
some parents, you go back
It's
to saying like
ridiculous.
sometimes, they want them to learn the art and they need the discipline, but sometimes it's also like after school care.
Yeah.
Like again,
Yeah.
Felipe, they got a van that they're picking up the kids at school.
That ain't
This is
cheap, bro.
After school
That ain't
care.
cheap.
I think they still get help with homework. I mean, I go in at 7:30 and sometimes there's kids there because again, the parents come to train, so they get picked up in aftercare. I go to train. The parents show up to train and then take leave with the kid. There are kids running around in the evening all the time because they're waiting on their parents. So they've been there from school. What 2, 3, 4?
There's a
pickups?
happy
How much are they taking out of their life to make sure that the kid is doing that for the art? The art needs to pay back the parents now, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry,
I think
the community. The art needs to pay back the community now.
Felipe and Sophia and the schools that I've been to, they all take that into consideration. I will say that. There's a lot of schools that I think do take advantage, and then there's just some people that are doing it right, just like you want to do it right.
I know a
And
lot of
understand
instances
that,
where, and I'll say I've been to 2 schools and both schools have worked out like you can't pay this month, show up.
Yeah.
I don't care if you can't pay, just show up.
Yeah.
Because there's two reasons: kindness of their heart, and the more bodies in the gym, the better you're going to do. If you got a couple of guys that aren't coming because they can't pay, and now you have two less guys on the mat, and you're building a gym. Your school looks thin. So there is two sides of it, and I'm okay with both sides of that. You're building a business, you're doing something good. If you're spreading jiu-jitsu, you're doing good. I don't care if you're making money. You're spreading good jiu-jitsu, you're still doing something good. And then at the same time, again, you may be helping them out. Hey, listen, I've been standing there where Felipe said, bro, I better see you next week. Just because you said, you can't pay or things are tight.
You don't know the
you better
conversations coaches have
just
with
be
students.
here. We'll figure it out later. And he's let people, I think that's a good thing. I think that's for
and the coaches got to be paid. I get that part. I'm talking about everything outside of that. I'm talking about the events, the ridiculous pricing, like your guys floor and row, right?
Yeah.
What's their what's their average gi? Like $60, $65?
Like if you were talking about like average, like under 100.
Right.
And you want to talk about average. You could buy a higher end. And
why? Do you understand? Like, why you got these gyms that are making students pay $200 a gi?
175 competition gi, whatever. Yeah.
Like how you like that's the part that I'm saying. The instruction be paid for the instruction. I get that. Be paid for your bills. I get that. But you gotta make 150% profit on everything.
I saw an ad today.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I saw an ad today. Now, the only restriction in my gym, it's got to be white. Doesn't have to be his.
Okay.
It has to be white.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't have to be his.
I tip my hat to him. That's amazing.
Yeah, it has to be white. Doesn't have to be his. I did see an advertisement today, a video advertisement that said it said what the school was doing, but part of it was no uniform. It basically addressed that, like, no uniform, wear what you want. Like, there's like, we're not in this to sell you stuff. It's come get some good jiu-jitsu. So I just happened to look at that. I was like, oh, I like that.
Dude,
again, if I had a gym, I would even go like, you can wear whatever color you want.
Until you can.
I think everybody's got a favorite color. It makes certain people feel really good, like me when I show up with a black gi. I never wear black gi.
You know,
I like it. I look like a fucking ninja.
Well, you know what, Adrian?
I look good in black in the picture.
Do you know Adrian?
Which one?
From Henzo Gracie Weston.
No, never got that. I heard he's a great dude.
He's a great dude. Check out what he did the other day, man. He's got he had a couple black belts, just like they were just all talking about how much stuff they had or something. I don't even know how it came about really, but they just had like excess stuff. Plus there's always the lost and found. He's like, hey, in this area of the gym, just go there and look through the boxes. There's gis, there's rash guards, there's shorts. Like, it's there. Just take it, please. I've gotten some of these from the black belts and some of these from other students that just, they go through stuff.
I hate throwing shit away.
Yeah.
You know me, I give everything
I've
away.
given a dummy away.
I make sure that I can give. I gave the guy that gave us the idea for the drill down, for the name this segment, the drill down.
Yeah.
I gave him 2 gis.
Questionable name,
I gave him
but
one of my DD214 gis, and I gave him one of my. I think I gave him my King's Fight Sports gi because I wasn't going to wear it anymore after he changed the name. I gave him those 2 gis, and he's like, it's got Fight Sports on it. I'm like, I don't. You can wear it. I'm not going to wear it. You could wear it.
You could get it depatched.
See, man.
And he goes, can I rip? But he wears it. I go, Felipe doesn't, it's fine. You don't have to take it off. We still have Fight Sports
because you guys are the newer generation. That's what I'm loving about it, man. I really appreciate that. Like, it ain't just a mindset in my part that because man, for forever, man, I ran my head into the wall. Like, yo, I'm doing something wrong. Like, but I don't feel loyal about this. I don't feel right about this. Like, why I got to make people wear the gi? Like,
I think that you're also in. I think South Florida was the Mecca for a long time, including all the way up to Coral Springs and Coconut Creek, where you had American Top Team. This has been the Mecca for jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts for a long time. Then now you've kind of got the jiu-jitsu Mecca is now that Austin, Texas. They've really taken off, right? Flow Grappling, Joe Rogan's out there.
Mm-hmm. The Roca Gym.
Type in jiu-jitsu Austin, Texas, and look at the mat, and it's just there's dots everywhere,
it's
right?
Like sexual predators in your neighborhood.
I think it's also your proximity to, again, that Mecca, as far as people no, jiu-jitsu, more jiu-jitsu purists. But I think as you get out a little bit further, even in just Florida, it is a business. Again, look, people would hear that we trained at Fight Sports back in the day. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh my God, Fight Sports. And I'm like, not the one in Miami. Yeah. It's a different, I know, I'm not stupid. I'm a realist. I know, again, I never trained. I went to an event there. I didn't I never trained there.
Mhm.
We're fight sports. We were a different fight sports. We're more of a hobbyist kids and hobbyist fight sports. You're not going to get the same level of competition that you're going to get down there or a black belt. But Felipe went down there every week, a couple days a week. He was training with those black belts. He went to the competition training. So we were getting that version of jiu-jitsu, and he would teach us. But it just, we didn't have those killers in our gym, right? So people look at it differently. Yeah. They do come to, they did and still do come to visit. You know, you got Deerfield Fight Sports, you got other guys that come around. But
get your ass whooped.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different level. But I think as you get away from just Miami, you see that that's okay. That's okay to open your gym up to people that are gonna, you know, take jiu-jitsu to another level and want to compete and make money. And then the hobbyists, they're out there. I've said there are more hobbyists than there are competitors. There are more people who do it for our own reasons and don't expect to. Maybe one day you do. Maybe you do a George Piro and retire and then go, I'm going to go masters, man. I'm going to go executive, whatever. And I'm going to make a run at a title. Great. But it's more unlike for most of us. All the guys that I meet, I went to the We Defy. Like everybody is like, you know, a little heavy in the belly, but they're, you know, everybody has their thing, but
it's becoming hipster.
Yeah, but there are more of us that love the sport and want to do it and get as good as we can at it, but don't have that mindset of like, it's just jiu-jitsu. I'm going to own a gym. You got to learn my jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
You got to compete. You're not going to get a belt unless you compete. There are just more gyms and people that train the way we do than that model. But I think proximity to this mecca of, again, you know, fight sports down here and what they've created in the area, I think as you get a little further away from that, it's okay to have these other ideas and to introduce Taekwondo in a jiu-jitsu academy or in a martial arts academy.
Yeah, it's a martial arts academy.
I think if you open up down the road from freaking fight sports in Miami, it's going to be like, what the hell are you doing here? That's not what we do around here, you know, right? It's just kind of like, again, the proximity to something that's been ingrained in the area
close,
for so long.
Aren't you?
Huh?
Aren't you pretty close?
I'm very close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you? Wait, how close?
Dude,
are you?
I got over 200 students. Like I'm very close. I promise you. Like man, like people don't care when they see that you're just trying to evolve them some kind of way.
Yeah.
Like everybody comes to we evolve them some kind of way. Like some kind of, we do all kind of stuff for that stuff. So like I said, like that's my purpose, just to like pass the message.
Yeah.
But the message ain't only jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about a wrestling dude. I only got 11 years of jiu-jitsu experience.
It's a lot, but
in that process, in a short time, because of my previous experience, I shortened my black belt, process into like 5.5
Your
to 6
journey
years.
was different, yeah.
Yeah, but why? Because of my other experiences.
Yeah.
So why are we going to limit them to just jiu-jitsu? Like what else are you going to do?
And again, those things would get them into your academy to learn jiu-jitsu anyway.
Yeah, they're going to come to me anyway.
How many stories do you hear about like the mom that was watching or went to the fitness class and said, Richard Bressler has like, Jorge and Gracie's first student in the USA. He's got stories about that, how like he's at a Krav Maga studio and like they'll be like, you should go learn, you should go to Richard's class.
Yes.
Krav Maga leading their own students to jiu-jitsu. It's there. It can happen. It's smart. Yes, you may evolve all of them, and that's a good thing too. You make your gym bigger, but it will lead back to this is the missing link. Because you got karate, you got taekwondo, right? Those are both stand up.
Yeah,
they're both missing this, right? You know, there's tai chi, right? There's wrestling. You're missing the submissions, right? You got the wrestling. I can get somebody in their back, but shit, all of a sudden I get submitted, right? This is what they're missing. So all of those other things I still think lead back to jiu-jitsu.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
All right, give him the last question, brother.
Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
No, I don't watch my belt.
No, look at him. Like, you don't watch
No, I don't watch my belt.
You don't watch ever?
No.
What's up? We got to put you on the naughty list.
Yeah.
There's a thing on the screen right now. When we add this, it's going to say.
Why don't you watch it?
We have the two sides of the argument. It's
Team
powers,
belt,
powers in the belt.
Mm-hmm.
The old school, like, no, you don't wash your belt. That's your jiu-jitsu power.
Juju.
The blood of your competitors is on the belt. Yeah. And then there's the team wash your belt.
Yeah.
So you're going to get hashtag. You're going to see it's saying hashtag powers in the belt.
Okay.
Which is fine. Why don't you wash it?
Well, because I don't want it to shrink or get destroyed any sooner. I spray it down though, and I hang it. I spray it down like I Lysol it. I dump it in. And I hang
like a day walker.
Acceptable option, and now you can use your spray too.
Yeah,
acceptable
that
option.
Works.
Now, when the people, I get some people say, "Oh, I put it out in the sun" or this and that. I'm a belt washer. I never, until Wagner was here, nobody ever said it to me like this. Wagner's like, when he looks at the belt, he looks at the belt and the fading of the belt, like he equates that to the amount of time that you've put in on the mat. I go, okay, I get that. I respect that. He was sitting right here, and I was just like, oh shit, I've never washed my belt again. And then
you don't wash your belt
the
anymore?
other side of it is like, but I got two belts. I got like my one that's getting, because I wash it every 1 or 2 times that I train. And then I got my other one that I got when I got promoted that's super brown that I'm just going to transition to when that one gets too shitty. And then it's back to bright brown, you know? So I just do it for the cleanliness of it.
I'm on my 4th blue belt.
Yeah?
And I've only been a blue belt for like a year and like 8 months.
No, you've been, a year and 8. Oh, you're going to say year.
Why
year
you
and
wash
8
it
months.
that much, huh? You wash it that
every
much?
single, I don't give.
I come home.
Do you sweat that much every
It's
single
not even
roll?
about that. It's I think it's almost because I'm a flow hole, bro. I just come home.
I wash my gi every day.
Yeah. It's just like
I
that.
come in, even if I
It
just get
literally-
one gi, I don't wait. I used to wait for gis to build up and like I let them dry, but then
No
like,
way.
rolling. I come home, I get undressed, I throw my underwear, everything in, and I don't wash the belt every time because it will
I don't
just
dry
really
it.
break
I
apart
wash it, but
super
I don't
fast.
dry it.
I do wash it like every other time now. You know, I make sure I'm washing it. I don't wait too long anymore. Like I went from washing it every time to like talking about it a lot, going, I could wash it once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's at least every other wash, and a little bit more than anything I judge it on. So like I have like our flow and roll bag, and I won't put my gi back in the flow and roll bag.
I wash that thing. I turn it inside out and I wash the flow and roll bag.
So if I like sometimes I take my top, my kimono top, and I wrap it with my belt, and it gets more wet from wrapping the gi than anything, and then I go, oh, I gotta. But sometimes I'll just keep it separate, and I'm like, it's freaking dry. It fell off after the first roll, and I left it on the side, so I kind of judge it like that too.
So do you change 100% before getting in your car?
Yeah. Like,
So
yeah.
I wipe
100%.
myself down with the wipes and the spray.
Okay.
I have a towel that I put on my chair.
All right. So you
And
guys
I
are
do.
real okay.
Sometimes I take off my rash guard, but I do put a
Every
t-shirt
time,
over.
every
But I've
time.
sprayed myself. I wipe myself down, and I do.
Okay.
Now, when I had like cloth seats, I shared a car with my daughter before she went away to school, so I had cloth seats.
Yeah.
But I still would put a towel over it,
Okay.
and I wouldn't sit on. To me, sitting on the cloth seat, I felt like I was leaving shit behind.
So you guys
but I
do
didn't want
care.
it to get
Okay.
smelly for her.
Yeah.
So I do that. So now I have like the leather or the faux
You guys
leather
are legit
seats.
then. Okay. You guys
Now
are legit.
I put a towel down and I sit down on it, and depending on if I'm gonna if it's a weekend and I'm gonna go to the store or something, then I'll change at the gym. But I do clean myself with the Neutral Zone products. So
I also, thanks to this podcast, have so much free jiu-jitsu swag that like I got a bag to put my gi in. I got
Remember the what was the name of the bag?
unlimited t-shirts. I have unlimited t-shirts. I give t-shirts away to my gym members because I'll get a t-shirt like I'm not wearing this t-shirt anymore, or they're an old sponsor.
What was the bag? What was the bag called?
The stinky bag. I
the
still
stinky
use
bag.
it.
So we had
It's a great
a
product.
company send us these things called the stinky bag, which I actually when I changed to the flow and roll bag, I didn't put it in.
I still love it.
There's different sizes, but it came out like right at the beginning of COVID. It was perfect. I mean, it was out probably, but
Golly,
at the
that was
beginning of
perfect,
COVID,
yeah.
we got with them and they sent us these bags, and it was enough to fit for your size, my size.
A
You
gi?
can get the gi in there and
your rash
put a
guard.
few other things and put my belt, and then you close it. And I was able to take that bag and put it inside of my gym bag and walk out with my gi.
It's like water
And then-
resistant, but then like you unzip the bottom of it, and then a mesh pouch pops
And
out.
you
'cause
just
put
throw
it
the whole
mesh
thing in the
pouch,
wash.
and you turn the whole thing inside out. It's almost like
It was. I haven't
just
been
wash
using
it.
it, but I got to grab it out of my other bag.
I would-
and
I
use
would
it.
never wash
He's
it
looking
like
at
that
us
with
like
a
we're
gi.
crazy, but it was just like an easy way of like coming from the gym. My
get it, I
sweaty
get it,
gi
I
that
get it.
never touches anything
I don't-
else. I bring it home. I don't even have to take it out of the bag. I unzip the bag.
I don't-
It falls inside out, and you throw the whole
just
bag.
likes
get
to
it. No,
do
I
the
get it. I
commercial
love
for
it.
it.
I like the idea. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It was
Yeah.
great.
He just
So
likes
used to
to
use.
do the
I haven't.
commercial.
I switched gym bags, so I have like a workout bag, and then I have my jujitsu bag.
Yeah.
And I never took the
So-
stinky bag out.
So
and
you know
put
how
it
you guys,
into my
I throw
jujitsu.
everything in the washer every single time, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position where I'm able to support my gym and buy belts.
Okay.
And when my belt looks shitty,
You
I
get it,
got my first. And you know what? Is this weird?
It was-
I'm asking you. Is this weird? Right. So I'm a blue belt that came from another school, right? And I felt weird asking if I could buy a Henzo belt, a Henzo blue belt. I felt weird about
without
it, honestly.
being awarded to you, or like as a
or
promotion.
just like so. Like I went there long enough. I wanted a Henzo blue belt because I felt like I needed a new belt, not because like, oh, I want to be part of this gym. It was just kind of like I got. Like, I'm not balling or anything, but like I could afford a gi when I switch gyms, and I want my shit
You're
to
balling.
look.
I know how much.
I want it to look right. Well, I get so much free clothes that I can spend money on clothes. My clothes budget is zero because all I do is wear flow and roll stuff because it's so comfortable and free. And but what I'm saying is like I felt weird in like month 2, month 3, month 4. Okay, like now I'm part of the group text. I'm part of the, you know what I'm saying? The true jiu-jitsu.
You're part of the team, and they're like, you can have a Henzo Gracie.
A lot of people don't have this experience. You've been to 2 gyms. I've been to 3. You know,
yeah,
like,
I always wore my own stuff.
I'm still in your gym.
I've
have
never
a group
worn
of your guys.
I wore Felipe's belt when I first got there. I had my old belt that my coach got me. Do you remember? I don't know if they're still around. DOM. Yes. It was a great belt, thick, didn't come off as much. Just the way, however, it was great. I had a DOM belt. My coach was like, he promoted me to blue belt, but then he told me, he's like, hey, get yourself a DOM belt that's better. You know, so he gave me the one that he gets from whatever overseas, right? And so I went to Felipe's with that blue one, and I used it, I think, the entire time.
But did you feel weird asking for a belt? Like,
no, I never asked for a belt. I just knew to go online.
I feel like I'm just retarded.
I would buy gis there. I don't think Felipe was carrying a whole bunch of belts to like sell the belts.
But my question my question to you is like, let's say you get a guy from another gym and he's like a purple belt, whatever. When do you consider him your purple belt? Immediately, or do you? Obviously, you're not going to take it away.
Okay, good question. So I honestly wait until they bring it to my attention. Like, hey, how do you do promotion? I'd be like, oh, this is how I do them, but are you representing me? Because you don't have to represent me to be in my gym. You can.
But that means you're also not going to promote them.
I'm not going to promote you because I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I know what was going on. And
you're saying it in a good way, not in like you got to represent me to get a belt. You're like, no. What team are you on, basically?
Yeah. What team are you on?
You could disrespect some other coach that he feels.
Yeah, you don't know what you call it.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to just kick somebody out now. I'll say his first name by name, Camilo. Like the dude was like such a. He went to another school that he wasn't going there no more to. Then came to ours and with everything. Like I'm talking about come in the morning, like and help people with them, like everything. Like, oh, it's the best school ever. Just kept talking it up, and all of a sudden, I see a picture and he got promoted, and I'm like,
at another school.
Yeah, and I was like, this is strange. And then I let it ride, and I guess he wasn't aware that I actually knew the coach. Because man, you'd be a lot of coaches know each other or know somebody that can get them in contact. Right?
Yeah, it's still a small.
And
world,
then the story was like they didn't know he was training with me, and I didn't know he was training with them. And I was like, why would you? Oh, you were waiting to see who give it to you first.
Were you his side gym?
You were his side piece.
Side gym.
You know, like
who's your side gym?
That's funny though.
And I was like, why would you lie something like that? And the other school was willing to keep him because he's still paying dues.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's concerning to me. Like, you a grown man with a family and you're like doing all this conniving and hiding, and I can't trust this because I don't know what else you're capable of doing. Like, I don't.
That'll make you never want to cheat on your wife. Because you know how it feels.
So it gets set out. Like I approach it now. Especially if I see that they're good. I have a black belt now at the gym, a new guy, and he's amazing. And I asked him, "Are you still representing?" He's like, "No, I live here now." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "Man, look, I can really help you a lot in your wrestling, and this is what I'll propose to you. We'll work 1-on-1, and like because I see he's a real good competitor." And I was like, "Are you gonna rep me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, understand though. I'm still gonna help you either way, and I'm not saying this to pressure you. You can still come here, but if that's the case, I appreciate you doing so because I gotta say thank you to him. Like, I didn't train you, and you're coming here."
And he's an actual gain to your gym. You got he's bringing what's called a brain drain.
Yeah,
a brain gain to your establishment.
For sure. Being a black belt, I get some very high level wrestlers because of my background on the gym. But it is nice when they do have a black belt on around their waist because now the rest of the students, like it's like, oh, another black belt. So now I got 6 black belts at the gym. Before it was only me.
Yeah.
That's good, man. So. Congratulations.
That's cool.
Listen, any shout outs? You want to say hello to anybody? This is your time.
Yeah. So This
is when you can talk to the camera if you like.
Okay.
You talk directly to them. Hey, Bobby.
Okay.
We see you. Hey, Camilo.
Shout out to the city of Miami Beach. They're the ones who made this Miami martial arts possible. They've given me full roam reign over city of Miami Beach, and we running all our programs through the rec center. And this is why I'm able to either we sponsor first responders. They train free. All right.
Very nice.
But what I do is to make sure I don't give up too many spots in my classes. It's 5 spots on a 3-month recurrence. So after 3 months, I just got to, whoever's reapplying for the sponsorship can go all first responders, police, and then 5 sponsorships to inner city kids or kids that need help.
Okay.
Tag
us if you got some stuff posting online. Tag us. Make sure that we know about it so we can repost it.
Thank you.
For sure, yeah.
So yes, thank you, City of Miami. Shout out to them. Shout out to Black House, Miami Beach. Well, let's say Black House, California, for believing in the dream. It happened, you know.
And you're at Black House Miami Beach, right, on Instagram?
Yeah, both, and Miami Martial Arts.
At
Miami
no underscores, no nothing. Miami Martial Arts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami Martial Arts. And guys, it's we got over 200 students now. Most of them are kids.
Very good.
And it's you know, come check us out. We're not gone. We're right across the street from our old location as well. Yeah. So we're 2 blocks from the beach.
Where's that at?
72nd Street in Abbott, right on Miami Beach.
What's the exact address? Tell them, because people
501 72nd Street, Miami Beach. We're inside the rec center. And
cool.
Yeah, guys, thank you to both. You know, it wouldn't have been possible. You know, I thought the jiu-jitsu world was a goner for me.
Yeah.
And it's become big. 200 students strong. We're growing. We're planning to hold jiu-jitsu events. Like I said, I sponsor. So you guys got any first responder friends?
Very cool.
Something to come by.
Man, we got so many firefighters and LEOs in my gym.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming. I know that we tried.
Yeah.
We had spoken once or twice
Sure.
To get you on, and then Drew reminded me. I said, "Yeah, like, hey, yeah,
Awesome.
we have it before I was doing it. Now we have a booking manager that does it. So Britt, shout out to Britt. So I don't think we shouted her out earlier. Thank you, Britt. So now it's a little easier for me. It took something off my plate. Doing this with Bo and getting it, you know, posted and all, it was very difficult. And then you're also booking the guests, so she does it. So it's really nice, and she is super helpful. So it was easy to. Yeah, you want to, you know, Drew tells me he wants to, you know, that he's got somebody that should be on the podcast.
And it's also awesome to have somebody live. Like, this is way better
we like the, you know, this was the original format was, you know, in studio. We went to Zooms because of COVID.
Yes.
So anyway, but thank you for coming in, bro. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah. It was very professional.
Little bit of housekeeping, right? So don't forget, guys, if you buy anything from any of our sponsors that we spoke about here today, send a proof of purchase. You can DM us on Instagram or send it to us at info@jujitsudummies.com. Let us know. You're going to go into a raffle for up to $200 in jiu-jitsu swag. So it's going to be like podcast gear, some stuff from our sponsors. What did I say?
200.
250.
It's 250.
It's 250. I'm sorry if I said 200. It's $250 worth of jiu-jitsu swag. Again, podcast stuff, mugs, T-shirts. The rash guard design is done.
It is.
He's just got to put it up on the website.
Here
We're moving
we
one logo, and it's just an art thing. Like,
yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu Dummies is going to be on the back. Flow and Roll is going to be on the front. Right now, they show on the front. It doesn't look good.
It's just going from aquí para allá.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
Once that's done, then it goes to the pre-order, and then once we get some pre-orders, then we'll order. So we're pretty much there. I think I extended that because we were really waiting on that shirt, on that rash guard. I think the post that we're putting out for the giveaway is like, we're going to award it by the end of October. That's plenty of time to officially award it. We'll either have them in hand or they'll be on the way.
Yeah.
And we'll choose a winner. And might have to do more than one winner because we made people wait for so long. So maybe
we sure did, else. Mysterious Milton. Yeah, you can literally go back like 100 gajillion episodes, and every single one he's like, "We got a rash guard coming."
You know what? Part of it was we did a really cool rash guard design, and it was.
Can you even post
right
a picture of it yet?
We were doing it, and that Uvalde shooting in Texas happened.
Yeah,
and it was very much a.
There was a military influence.
There was a military aspect to it, and it showed bullets, and there was guns on it. Now that we hadn't finalized the design,
it's Full Metal Jacket.
Immediately we took off the guns. Even with it, we didn't even have to see the shooting, but the artist put guns on it because of the front part, which was like the helmet from
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, and it says like "Born to Kill," and then there are bullets, and we were like, "Yeah, this is insane." Then we took the bullets out, and then it's like, but it doesn't make sense and then we just changed it. We always called it the Peace Love. We say Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu at the end of the episode, so it was always the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu rash guard. So it had elements of peace symbol, jiu-jitsu. Now there's a shark on it, and like just the elements that mean those three things. So it's a much better design, and you have
the floor is
without the bullets. But it happened right at that Uvalde, so that we had the design close, and then we were like, yeah, this is good. This just doesn't work for us, and we went a whole other route. So it extended the design time. We had to kind of start from the beginning again.
Honestly, I just think it's like you've been here now, and Milton's a very professional dude. And he'd rather take forever and do something the way that he really, really likes it. That's honestly what it is. Like, I don't have the knack like you do.
I'm a perfectionist in that regard. I mean, the thing is,
I'll put out some bullshit.
You could look at it. I could still look at it and be like, oh, we should do that. I could look at it forever and it'll never come out. You
still pick it apart, yeah.
It came out really, really good. It had all the elements.
You like it.
The designer did everything that we wanted to. I also had, like, there's a heart, but a real heart.
When are you gonna show the picture of it?
It ties in for me personally as well.
When are you gonna show
we didn't just put a heart. We put a heart.
Anatomical.
There's a heart with like a skeleton, like grabbing it, but doing the shaka. Like, it's got all these elements. It's really cool. And then there's a big peace symbol, like dripping, like almost like dripping in blood on the back. It's dope. I like it.
You should start.
I actually like it now.
Since it's developed, you should start putting it out. Let people get an eye for it.
Flow and Roll actually did, but I didn't repost it. He put the heart, that element, he put it out. Okay. So you can see it if you go through his feed. I didn't want to put it out because I wasn't ready.
Is that flow_n_roll?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay.
So yeah, you can check it out there. But I can even show it to you now, but I have the designs of who just moving
I've seen the
logo.
designs.
You've seen the final though? The one that
you showed me. It was pretty.
No, but he mocked it up on everything now.
No,
so
you did. Yeah, you did. You showed me all that.
All right. So anyway, it's coming soon, guys. Let's keep an eye on @Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram. You'll see postings about that rash guard, and you can check out all the ways to watch, listen, and support. Click on the LinkedIn. Again, shows you how you can donate to Kurt Osiander's fund, all the different ways that you can follow us. You can donate to the show if you want to support us as well.
We
don't really talk about that too much, but if you want to give us a couple of bucks, it helps us with production. That's great as well. I'm Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram. I do monitor the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies as well.
JJD_DJJ69.
Give him your Instagram again.
I_am_Abreu. ABREU.
Bo?
@BADWERKS.
Bad works.
All right, brother. All right, guys.
Peace.
Thank you very much. Oh, now you're doing it too early. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening.
Better early than late.
Peace, love, jiu-jitsu, baby. Take care.
Take it easy, y'all.
All right.